What's going on, guys? Your boy XQ420. Welcome y'all back. Another episode Beyond the Q. It is election night. It's the Especial 2024 decision 2024. I've got the powerful one with me as always, Cory Hughes. We're gonna have Lindsey, Scharmyn join us. There we go. Yeezy for president. Was Yeezy wasn't on the ballot, was he?
Write him
Was
in.
Yeezy
Write
on
him
the
in.
ballot? Do they still let you do write-ins?
I think so. I think
Okay.
so.
It's a little insane. The write-in portion, but I guess could you get enough people to write in some shenanigans? Wouldn't it be crazy? Just
People
like
have
one
won by
day,
write-ins in the past. People have
is
won.
that
Oh,
right?
like, yeah. Well, you man, look it up. That'll be the first thing we do for tonight. Look up how many times have people won by a write-in.
Okay, we'll look that up. We're gonna thank everybody for being with us tonight. We are simulcasting across multiple channels. We are on the Rogueway channels on Rumble and Rockfin as well. Lindsey Sharman will be with us later. She's doing an event right now, so
Some
she will
hippie
be
shit.
with us. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So we appreciate her for simulcasting with us, and so that's what we're gonna do first. How many people have won from a write-in votes? Well, obviously, no president has ever run from won from a write-in vote.
No, but local stuff I know
Uh,
has. Local for sure. For sure has.
let's see, write-in vote. Okay. History of write-in candidates has been elected. Okay, it pops right up. Oh Lord, I'm gonna I'm gonna do this for science. It's unsafe. uh, yeah, it's nothing. Okay. All right. Let's see. What we got here? KGW. Okay. Do they ever win write-in candidates? All right. Let's block that. Okay. It's talking some nonsense about what we got up here. So 2016, discontent with the two-party system. Let's see. Oregonians in particular have historically prided themselves on independent political thought. Okay. So the folks in Oregon, uh, the ones where every drug is pretty much legal to do
Not
right now.
anymore.
Oh, did they strip that away from them?
Yeah, because they realize that hippies are stupid.
But they had too many folks just about drop dead in the street
That's
and having
yes.
to scoop them up daily.
Yeah.
I knew that was gonna happen when they
I
were
used
like,
to. My heart
"Yeah,
used to
man,"
bleed for those people. Not anymore. Not anymore.
but I knew
They're one step above migrants.
I knew that it was gonna go awry. I was like, "Man, look, but the people left to their own devices will destroy themselves. They
You
have no
see,
other choice."
we've come to learn that you have to have this kind of you have to have a rigid framework that a society functions within. You have no choice. You cannot have everything goes in a society, and this whole drug thing I think proved it. Because I was kind of an advocate for decriminalization of a lot of drugs. I mean, I don't think people should be going to prison for years because they got drugs. They should be getting mental health counseling and stuff. But still,
Uh-huh.
there needs to be consequences. Like when you go down the street with that money in your hand to go buy that drug, you need to be nervous the whole time and looking over your shoulder and all that stuff. Looks like all the shit we had to do when I was a kid, waiting in a parking lot to buy a bag of weed for $50, right? Some dirt weed from Mexico.
So you need to be nervous. You need to be on
You
edge
better, if you're
alert.
not nervous, is a problem. So if you're
Okay,
not
I can
nervous when
believe
you're
that.
handling drugs, that's a problem. Yeah.
It's like I can tend to agree with that. So they say the write-in candidate. Let's see. So we got Alaska Senator Lisa Murkowski. She won her Senate seat in 2010 through a write-in campaign, and
That's
became the
wild.
first senator in more than 50 years to win through write-in votes. So 50 years prior, somebody had won. Hell, I don't think you had no other choice but to write folk in 50 years prior. Shit, I mean, damn. So we got that. We had in 2002 we had a DC mayor Anthony Williams. He was forced to run as a white write-in candidate. Okay, in the primaries after petition problems, and he later on went on to win the election. So I don't even know if he actually wanted to run. It's just like dog folk wrote you in. So it's I think in my area, they had I think they had a place on the ballot for a write-in for um vice president of water commission or something. I was just like, man, just think one day, you got a bunch of folks that's like, man, you know what? I know somebody who'd be good for that job. They you a week later they're like, hey man, you ready to come for your first day of work? You're like, what you talking about, dog? It's like, man, you got elected. Elected to do what? You're over the sewer system now. Oh shit, I don't know what I'm doing. I said this is gonna be a collapse right out the gate. You know how bad that could turn out.
I'm sure they got somebody there who teaches you stuff.
No,
No,
no, no,
yeah,
folks.
they have to.
Folks fake it till they make it. You fake it till you make it. That's what you do. You fake it till you make it. All right. Uh,
You can't argue with that. Unfortunately, you can't argue with that. Faking it till you make it works.
okay. All right. Yeah, that's fair enough. We had some. It looks like the mayor race is where you're most likely to win a write-in. We had a Barry
See, I imagine
McDonald.
myself one day finding someplace somewhere in the country where I can go and be a write-in candidate for sheriff, run unopposed, and be the sheriff of a small town somewhere. Thought that would be pretty neat as a retirement gig.
You think so?
I think you could do it. Find someplace like that and just write yourself in, and you know, small enough town, you can probably get away with it.
Oh, so you mean like you talking about like those old school westerns where you had you the sheriff of the town and you had like one jail cell.
Right, right.
Oh boy, yeah, one jail cell. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Have you seen any of the boards yet? Of course, the East Coast is really the only ones that are reporting right now. What is
So
it? The West Coast? West Coast should be closing their polls in what, an hour? Is that right?
yes, and the more I've been watching for hours, I've been on edge for hours, like because you know democracy's on the line and all that shit that they say, right? but
This democracy. Yeah.
the more I watch this, and the more I really come to understand about the political process behind the scenes that we don't see in these nice uh, packaged, televised, shiny graphic things, is that we live in a fucking third world country that is like probably two steps below Afghanistan today, run by the fucking Taliban. And they can't get the vote machines to work in like half the goddamn states. How many people get disenfranchised who want to vote every election season? I don't even know. But I haven't voted in fucking years because I ended up voting for Barack Obama. And how did that turn out for all of us? That was horrible, right? And so it doesn't matter who the fuck you vote for, really, at the end of the day, because what you're really voting for is you have no choice but to give your overall seal of approval on that person, their entire life, and everything they've fucking done. Because if they're a shitbag, then I can't really vote for them. You know what I mean? And Donald Trump has
Mm.
been associated with some shitbags over the years. I don't give a fuck what people say about him today. That motherfucker had a lawyer in the 1980s named Roy Cohn, who in the 1960s sat on the board of directors of Permindex and was a co-conspirator in the Kennedy assassination, right? So he's one person away from a Kennedy assassination. And I just, he laundered money for the mob. He paid 3 times the going rate for concrete when he built Trump Tower in New York. Nobody does that unless you're laundering money. I mean, the guy's not as fucking straight and narrow as anyone thinks. And by me passing a vote his way is, even though he's the only hope for fucking the future of our country at all, because Kamala would just destroy us outright, right? He's a stopgap
Mm.
measure at best.
Right.
So, but unfortunately, he's a necessary stopgap. But I'm still not going to vote for the motherfucker because he's a scumbag, right? Everything we see about him today, it might be a newly remodeled, reformed, repackaged Donald Trump, but you can't deny the associations that he's had and the things he's done over the years. And nobody runs an empire in New York City without working with the mob. I don't give a fuck how low key you were about it, or how many intermediaries there were. The bottom line is he worked with the mob, right? And I just can't. I'm just not down with that. I'm not that I wouldn't vote for anybody else either, because everyone else is a scumbag too. You know what I mean? Nobody's political Jesus.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. There, and when you do eventually find political Jesus, If you have any beliefs in the Bible, then that would be the actual end of society. That'd be the Antichrist.
Well,
That
and
would that will actually be the political Jesus.
Adolf Hitler did say that no great man was ever discovered through an election, and that's kind of true. So,
Oh, that's what Hitler said.
mhm.
Huh? Okay. No great man. Well, look, look. Here's what I do know. Okay. Um, we've got one of a couple choices here, and I always like to lay the choices out for people. You've got the choice where you got now, where you can go and you can cast your vote. Now, the votes are not so much dependent on popular vote because if it was dependent on popular vote, then Republicans would never win. They would have won like one time in like the history of America. Uh, if or maybe like two times.
Well, the sad
To
thing
be
is, really,
honest,
when it boils down to, is like there's like 7 or 8 big cities that control the Democratic side of things, and the rest of the country is all Republican. That's
right,
really when you look at the fucking
right,
map, you got
more
a bunch of
conservative in nature. Yeah, conservative in
you
nature
get
and
outside,
values.
you get past the suburbs, and everybody's a Republican. That's why country music has and will always be the number one music in America. They sell more fucking country
Exactly.
records than anything because everybody's a hillbilly in this fucking country. No
I was
offense
telling people,
to hillbillies.
yeah, it's all good. I was telling people, look, if I was going to start a bar, you know, start a club, it'd be country,
Yes, and you ever seen them Daisy
country music.
Dukes?
Yeah,
Them Daisy Dukes, they look good.
yeah. You do country music, okay, and then
You
you
get the
can
mechanical
integrate
bull up in there.
because you go right there along with like a little pop, like, and I know this is gonna sound bad for people, but like stuff like Taylor Swift and stuff like that. Hey, bud, what you need to do first, as far as a club goes, is that you need to get the women there first. Because if you can get the women there, then the men will follow. All right.
That is true. I'm having a panic moment. I'm having a panic attack moment. Okay,
Are you?
here's the bottom line. Here's the deal. All right, so what it comes down to is Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. If Donald Trump only needs to win one of those,
Oh yeah, that is true. Yeah, I
but he's
think they
not.
said
I
he
don't.
needs to just win
She
one.
she has a better chance of winning all three. I think.
Oh, you believe so?
By looking at the numbers, I'm nervous as fuck just over those 3 states. Like, I
You
swear to
know what?
God, I feel like I know what's going to happen. This is like, I feel like the kid who's at the orphanage waiting to be adopted. It's Saturday, and the parents come on Saturdays to adopt the kids, and I just know nobody's going to adopt me. That's how I feel right now. I just know it. Nobody's going to adopt me. That's what's going on right here. Okay. I don't give a fuck what we talk about, what fluff they give us on TV. At the end of the day, it's those 3 states, and Kamala's going to steal it through those 3 fucking states. Okay. That's what's going to fucking
Hey,
happen. And I'm not liking it at all.
so I believe this is what we got in right now. I think we've got
We're
these. They're
higher on
saying
the
these are wins,
they're
wins
higher on the
currently.
electoral college for Trump. I got on what is it? Fox News, they got
This is this
195
is
and 117.
It's NBC, so I don't know if this is current or accurate
That's not
right now.
accurate.
Because is this one's not accurate?
It's
You said you're on
outdated.
Fox.
Yeah.
It's out.
Well, I'm
Well,
looking
let
at my
me.
TV. My TV's got like a whole bunch of stuff going on at the same time.
Oh, does it? Have they already given some of these other states? Because I know North Carolina. I know ours is definitely closed.
He's probably going to get North
7:30. It was
Carolina.
two
He's
hours
probably
ago.
going to get Georgia.
I think he was way behind on Virginia. Well, he
Virginia was
was.
it was up in the air. It was up. That one was a
Well,
real
he
toss up.
well he was way behind from what they were saying, but it was early polling. And from what I seen, they were saying that they had a huge turnout for Republicans early voting, which is usually not the case. Usually Republicans vote the day of, last minute ninjas. You know what I'm saying? But they said that it from some experts, they said this does not bode well for the Harris campaign, seeing how you've got Republicans going ahead and getting out there and casting their ballot. Um, Now, as Corey's been saying, he's feeling tension. Maybe it's in the upper back. It's probably right there across the
It's feeling in
trapezoidals.
my. I'm feeling it in my sphincter. That's where it's going to hurt the
Oh, are
most.
you?
For the
Oh
next four
boy.
years,
Okay,
it's going to hurt the most.
here we go. I want to shout out people who are commenting in the chat and comment in the chat so we can shout you out. We've got Nigel of Tunnel Mental. It's a hell of a name. He said no matter who you vote for, the government still gets in,
And
this is correct.
Netanyahu wins.
And this in fact could be correct. But here, like I said, here's what the deal is. Okay, we could either do it this way, or you could have a ruling family. All right,
Yeah,
this is really it.
I like
Okay,
the
you like a
authoritarian, the
ruling family?
military authoritarian dictatorship.
Okay, okay, that's what you
Mhm.
prefer.
Yeah, worked well under Hitler.
I think that's what they what's the movie? Rebel Moon. Rebel Moon. That's what they was kind of the premise of that. That's the Netflix Zack Snyder.
Well, let's be
It was
real.
supposed to be
The
Star
vast
Wars.
majority of people out there have no fucking idea what they're doing when it comes to the election. Like, you ask women, they're like, "Oh, I'm voting for Kamala because of women's reproductive rights." What are you talking
Ooh,
about?
ooh.
You don't know a thing, right? So these people are stupid. They don't fucking know anything. Why the fuck should they get to vote?
Yeah,
Maybe
they
they should
kind of
go back to
that's
maybe they should go back to like the revolutionary era where it was like you had to own like 20 acres and have a business in order to cast a vote or some shit like
there
that,
you
right?
go. We gotta know you're competent before you can cast. You know, hey, here goes one right here, bud, and this is horrendous right here. I gotta show you this. They had this guy right here.
Oh yeah,
Of
this guy. I
course,
seen this guy.
CNN. Did you see this one?
Yeah.
I will make sure everybody has seen this
Who'd
one.
you vote for today?
I voted for Kamala Harris.
Why is that?
I have 3 daughters, 4 children overall, and
Dude, how did gay dude get 3 daughters?
pretty important to
What's that?
How did gay dude get 3 daughters?
Hey, look, man. Hey, you got you gotta create the facade. You know what I'm saying?
children
Yeah.
overall, and women's rights is pretty important to them.
He's nervous. His
and my
body
daughters.
language. He
Sorry,
doesn't know
I'm
what to do with
getting a
his
little
hand. He keeps
emotional
going
about
in and
that.
out
I
of his
didn't think
pocket.
that.
Man said he was getting emotional.
No, he was just nervous and choked.
He said he was no. He said he was getting emotional. That's what he just said. I mean, let's. I'll rewind it back for the people.
Overall, and women's rights is pretty important to them and my daughters. Sorry, I'm
My
getting a
gun.
little emotional about that. I didn't think that I was going to do that, but just their bodies, their choice type of a mentality. I want them to grow up in a world that's welcoming to
Why is
everybody.
it always about being a whore?
That's why I cast my vote.
That's it, bud. He said, hey, look, man, I know what my daughter's gonna do. They gonna bust down. I've heard some of the songs you're listening to. Glorilla. To listen to some of that. Her newest song, Hair, Face, Ass, Titties. That's her newest hit. And she's talking about, how her coochie's a treat and all that
So
stuff.
the
So
abortion issue to me is the single most sinister political talking, subject matter that there is because it's the single most manipulative. Um, it manipulates women and it manipulates their emotions for their votes. For a rather nonsensical issue, right? We've already discussed this. Hookers and porn stars don't really have a problem with getting knocked up because they're professional whores, right? So the problem is with amateur whores. That's the problem,
yes.
amateur whores. And so the problem really becomes one of attention to detail or don't be fucking careless, right? How about that? How about don't be a careless whore? How about that? You won't have to worry about abortion, all right? Now, let me just say this. The rape, incest, medical issue, I'm all down with that stuff. Is totally fine. That's a non-issue.
Yeah.
That's all like legitimate issues. That's not a luxury. That's not a convenience. Okay. That's like a legitimate, necessary medical procedure if you have a problem of that nature. But if you're just fucking out there because you're an amateur whore and don't pay attention to detail, then that's on you. And the idea that you can just go get an abortion up until the day before that thing's due is nauseating. So
Yeah, it is a little bit. I think the whole premise is that like I think it's overly flaunted. You know what I'm saying? There's some people who have had abortions, and I believe they feel bad about it later on, and they kind of hide that in shame. But became so mainstream now that people just put it right out there. Oh yeah, I've
yes,
had 4 abortions.
and
Yeah, I
also
feel
let
good
me
about it.
take this a step further. So we've already established that professional whores don't really have a problem with this. And who else wouldn't really have a problem? People who have attention to detail, right? So I would assume mostly upper class, middle class women who have money, who have time and money to pay attention to things like birth control, right? So then you have that segment who really aren't going to have to worry about abortion. And that's a large segment. So what does that really boil down to at the end? And when you look at the numbers, the statistics back this up. The vast majority of abortions are of people of color in America. So if you're pro-abortion, you're really for murdering black babies. And that makes you the most racist, disgusting person ever. And so if for no other reason, that's a reason that fucking abortion should be illegal. Because if not, if you support it, you're a disgusting racist. That's what. So.
But there you go. I mean,
why do you want to kill black babies? Like someone says, yeah, I'm pro-choice. Oh, you like killing black babies? That's what it's all about to them. So it's amazing how the establishment got women all twisted up on that issue, right?
yeah, that is true. And isn't that what the whole premise for like I've heard this before. What Margaret Sanger, isn't that like our whole premise of the Planned Parenthood was pretty much to.
So I guess things haven't really changed much.
Babies.
Yeah. So you're into genocide. What's up with that, huh? Why are you eugenicist? What's up with this? And it's mostly like liberal white women. Why are liberal white women all into genocide and eugenics? I don't get it.
Yeah, I'm not quite understanding it either. And like I
and
said,
neither do they,
like,
which tells me that they're just it's a carrot dangling and they're fucking following the herd. That's it. They don't put any thought into any of this stuff. Like abortions should be a non-issue. It really should be a non-issue. It got kicked back to the states. That was Roe v. Wade. It wasn't a war on women. And like to me, like here in Colorado, like women bitching about abortion, about Roe v. Wade in Colorado is ridiculous because they'll always have fucking liberal abortion here. You know what I mean? So it must be a thing about like, I must be feeling for other women in other states who can't get access. Like we are so pushed into political ideologies that have nothing to do with us. We absorb the problems of other people for political purposes. Really, if we actually analyzed what benefited us and our immediate surroundings and our family and our communities directly instead of these other third-party issues, like we wouldn't talk about any of the shit we end up talking about. And when it comes to political debate, Yeah,
this is true. This is true.
Which just shows it's all just fucking smoke and mirrors and political theater, which is why I just don't participate. I'm not going to go push a button in this fucking rigged game of fucking shit, even if, one person is necessary to save us from ourselves.
Well, is that how y'all do it? Push a button? It's still paper ballots around here.
It should be paper ballots everywhere.
Yeah. I seen the one.
You should have to go in like in the Viking days and like cut your finger and put your blood stamp on the fucking thing.
It should be that deep. Now, hey, look. Now I give it to what was it? And some people, of course, people have stuff internalized about politicians and things of that nature. But J.D. Vance, I mean, I do give it to him. He was sitting there and he was talking today. He's like, "Look, man. No matter who wins, and we can have our differences on how we feel like the country needs to be ran, our political ideas and all that, but I don't think this is worth throwing your family and your friends away over." And I was like,
I know,
okay.
I actually like him. I actually kind of like him, and he's a little white bread, but that's okay. He's younger, and he's younger than me. He's like 41. He's young and he's kind of hip, but he's still at the same time. He's very politically. What's the word I'm looking for? Like fine-tuned, well-tailored.
He's banging a woman of color, though. He's banging a woman of color. Though.
Oh, so he's reaching across the aisle into.
Yeah.
So he's a multiculturalist. So he's like,
yeah.
He is like, he's going to be president. You know this, right? This guy is going to be president. If Trump wins and actually they let him into office, then Vance is next in line, and he's going to run in the next 4 years, and he might win.
Yeah.
So
look, it is right here, bud. Usher Vance. There it is, bud. She
looks like my waitress at the shawarma restaurant.
I said, okay, Vance, I hear you, bud. Vance, let me get some of this Indian punani. Is this Indian name? Usha Chilakuri. Whew. He said, let me get some of that curry. That's some of that curry stuff. You know what I'm saying? I hear you, JD. I mean, a nice couple. She got that gray. She got that gray hair going.
I don't know. She's screaming CIA plant. Where'd they meet?
I mean,
Was
That
it some
could be
fucking
real.
some fellowship or brotherhood organization in Nepal? I mean, give me a fucking break.
Hey,
I want to
look,
see her resume. I promise you, she crossed paths with the CIA. I have a feeling that
oh, but
they plant wives in
here we go.
people's politicians'
Wikipedia.
lives.
The internet we promised. Oh, I don't need all that. Let's see. Okay, so she had a Indian immigrant parents, so her parents were immigrants. Okay.
God damn it!
Hey,
Can we shut the
Yale,
door to these fucking Indians?
Yale, man,
They smell
Yale.
funny.
What they might have integrated from or immigrated from Canada. You know, Canada got
Oh, we definitely
all
need to
them
shut the door to
Indian folks,
Canada.
French Indians. You know what I'm saying? The French
That's
Canadians
too
and
much
Indians up there too.
multiculturalism. Like, just fucking shut these people out.
Damn, man, come on, man. But
There's
she
a lot of unoccupied FEMA camps that we could use, to fill them with.
okay. Godly. All right, so she got
Wow.
graduate. She
Oh,
graduated
did I
from
see some
Yale.
Hebrew?
Is it Hebrew?
I don't know what
We
was
got
that.
we
I
got
saw.
Lindsey. We got Lindsey. Oh, let's
Am I
welcome
Hebrew?
Lindsey Scharmyn
Hi.
to the show. We are on her pages as well.
Whatever you highlighted over, I saw some shit
Swapcasting.
pop up.
No, this is just Yale, man. Is that
Oh, okay.
Hebrew?
Yeah,
It looks Jew
that's
enough to
Hebrew.
me.
That
Yeah.
might be Hebrew. Like
that's Hebrew.
looks it Veritas. Hey, well there we go. Well, she Yale University, and then Yale Law School.
Oh, Yale. That's
Okay.
Yale was what was Yale's secret society?
Is it
Pen and
Skull
Quill or
Bones?
Pen and Quill? No, that was Princeton.
Oh.
Or was it?
See, I don't know. Oh damn, she's the same age I am. 1986. Well, she's a little bit younger than me by about 3 months.
Oh, it is Skull and
But
Bones.
okay.
Vance's
Princeton
wife?
must have like Feather and Quill, I think it's called.
Oh, not nearly as scary sounding.
Is that what it is?
It's like the gay version of the gayer version of Skull and Bones.
Yeah, but okay,
Yeah.
so we're talking about right now JD Vance's
We're
wife.
talking about why there's so many
We
goddamn
were,
Indians in this country.
Yeah,
Do we
were
really need that
letting
many
know
computer
that, you know,
programmers?
It was because a bunch of Americans were like, math is stupid. And then all the Indians were like, we'll do math. So we got a bunch of Indians.
Yeah, the JD Vance, we were saying that he's down with the colored folks, you know what I'm saying? Because he's got him a woman of color. You know, so that's
see?
and we were actually saying before that JD Vance actually said something that was really, really good today. He was like, hey, you know, no matter who wins today, this is not something, and we can have our political differences on how we see things, how the country should be ran, but this is not something you should lose friends or family over. I'm like, I can agree
Nice.
with you there.
Yeah.
I can agree
That's some
with you there because it's
classy.
dumb.
That's some classy shit.
Yeah. So I mean, there it is, and then probably somebody in the Joy Reid's like, yeah, look at that fucking fascist. He hates women and he hates women of color, and his damn wife. I bet he treats her like a slave. I bet he beats her in the back. Where's the
See?
whip at?
But
Let's
like,
go
they
there.
would say that because they're the racists, and that's what they think about women of color. Like, otherwise, why are you saying it?
Yeah, this is true. Now, he may whip her, okay, but BDSM style. That may be the type of stuff they into. Okay,
Yeah.
we don't know.
He wears eyeliner, so like all bets are off.
Who does? Who wears
JD
eyeliner?
Vance.
He totally wears
JD
eyeliner.
Vance.
But probably just the makeup artist for TV kind of eyeliner.
Oh no, yeah, it looks good on him. He kills it. He's like Johnny Depp and him can get away with it. It's good.
Oh yeah, that's about it. Cory. It looks like Usher's mother was a molecular biologist. Okay.
Uh-oh.
So that's what she was at the
some Mossad up in
University
here.
of California, San Diego. Is that what that is?
They got their hands and everything.
Okay. Let's see what a career.
Guy could be a
is.
car mechanic. I'll be like, oh, Mossad. They drive cars.
Yeah, we were trying to see if she has CIA ties, but I don't see any right now.
Cory, are you eating candy right now?
Mm-hmm.
God damn it, Cory. Were you not just sick from candy the other day?
I know, but I got some left, a lot left. I gotta keep eating it until it's gone.
Do your duty.
There's no more motherfucking Warhead taffy. I'm pissed about that.
He said, "I'm sick. I'm sick of candy." Yeah, I don't see any. I don't see any type of CIA ties here.
Oh, they're there.
I don't see any right
I
now.
promise.
I mean, they're definitely there. They're definitely there. The latest news. Let me refresh this page, and let's get
Oh,
everybody up to
yeah.
speed
Last I saw, Donald Trump
on
was
what
like
we got
super
here.
high in the electoral votes.
I know, and it breaks
Still
my heart
too much.
because they're gonna steal it right out from under them.
Maybe.
I'm waiting for the steal. I'm like, I feel like it's gonna happen. Like any minute, the building's gonna blow up. Like that's how I feel. Like it's gonna happen any second.
Did you see that they're launching an intercontinental ballistic nuclear missile like right after the election is over? From
Yeah, it's
California?
like some kind
Yeah,
of
what's the deal with that?
Well, we finally, after like not having one for like 4 years because the Russians and the Iranians have had them for like that long, we finally got around to testing a hypersonic missile because we're an embarrassment of a fucking country, and all that money that goes to the military gets fucking laundered and in the pockets of fucking third-party contractors. So yeah, that's it's no good.
Colorado for Kamala Harris. What happened to us?
God damn, this
Oh,
fucking
yeah,
state.
that's what I was saying.
Man,
Yeah,
it needs to go back to when
straight
it was like rustlers and shit.
Yeah, she took it handedly. You know what I'm saying?
Because there were a bunch of goddamn
Handedly.
faggots, goddamn in Denver. All it's fucking terrible. Oh wait a minute, Trump
Okay,
just
so-
bumped up
so-
to 205. How'd he get to 205?
I think he just took what's his MT Montana.
Okay.
Montana and
Okay, so
Wyoming.
Utah.
they're
Is that
gonna.
right?
I don't, man. It doesn't matter. This is all
And
pointless. They're
Utah.
gonna steal it from him. I'm just waiting for the moment.
Maybe. I don't know. I believe
Everybody-
in the power of Peanut and Fred to come through from the other side and give it to Trump. That's what I believe.
Well, right now he looks like he's got a pretty good lead in North Carolina. The polls are closed, but it's only 65.71% in
if he-
there.
Let's see if he takes Virginia, North Carolina, and Georgia.
They don't
That's
even want...
that's 29,
Virginia's
39. That's 45. So 45 would be 250. He'd be close. Then he'd only need 20.
Pennsylvania's razor thin right now.
And he's going to end up getting Idaho and
Michigan.
maybe Nevada and definitely Arizona.
Michigan.
You see, here's the thing:
so
if she
Wisconsin's
takes those three, if she takes Wisconsin, Minnesota, or Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, it's over, and she won. That's what it comes down to. If she wins those three, it's over. And so that's my biggest fear.
Yeah, because she's getting California. She's getting all 54.
She's getting all that, right? So if she wins those three, it doesn't matter what else happens.
Wait, what did you say? Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania?
Yeah, I
Aren't
saw
those
Crowder do
always
a
blue?
break. Mostly, yeah,
So,
but they're close. But I saw Crowder did a breakdown of that earlier today, and it was pretty goddamn devastating. So if she wins those three, it's over.
I don't know. I think they want to
Yeah.
like keep all of the blue hairs just right on the edge but then give it to him in the end and then just like send them into straight chaos, just like destroy the world, rip your guts out, throw them at people, like go nuts. That's what I'm looking forward to.
God. Now, a lot of these places, the polls are closed, except for West Coast. Those close at 11 Eastern, so they still got another hour. Is Nevada the polls are closed already? Is that right? Arizona?
Nevada should
Man,
be on the
I mean,
same
they
time
close
zone as
early.
California. They should be on the same as
Yeah, but
California.
they must close early. It says their polls are closed according to Fox. So is Arizona as well.
They're exactly
We've
tied
got
there.
yeah.
What is he in New Mexico?
Yeah, they're like New Mexico. He's up.
Is he up in New Mexico? Wow. Because I'm not expecting him to. Only 20% in. What's he in Arizona?
This
same thing. It's tied. Arizona is one of those states that they're going to do the steal. They're going to be like, it's going to be like 6 days before we know what fucking where our assholes are. Same thing in Pennsylvania. They've already announced it's going to be fucking 4 days before we know how to fucking read a clock. I mean, it's just unbelievable. We live in a third world cesspool. I mean, I'm so frustrated with this goddamn country. Really, I should just go take Putin up on his offer and go fucking live in Russia.
I know, it's very tempting. Like Russia
very tempting. There's hot women over
and
there.
Japan. I would live in both. I want to
Russia.
study St.
Okay, so-
Petersburg. I want to study Tartaria from Russia.
Oh, I saw a video the other day that totally like it didn't. I don't want to say it debunked it, but it totally put the Tartaria stuff in a different context that totally made it seem stupid.
I know. Well, this is the part I think stupid about it is that people are like, see, no one could have done this with horse and buggy. I'm like, dude, if you sat around and all you had to do in life was fuck around with your horse and buggy and some rocks, like you'd also build a cathedral. There's no
Well, the funny thing is,
TV.
like, all that whole area, like where those people were supposedly had Tartaria, they were really just peasants who lived in huts who didn't even have technology or anything to do anything. So, like, the guy who made the video was puzzled over how anybody can even attribute them to anything technological wonder, when really it was a culture of multicultures that were kind of just grouped together under a banner that weren't united in any way, shape, or form. So
Well, it's
it was a bunch of nomadic tribes.
It's sort of a misnomer to call it Tartaria anyway, because someone just like put that name on top of what is actually should be called the mud flood theory, and now it's just
Well,
called
it pops up
Tartaria.
on maps going back like 500-600 years. You know.
No, I know. I
So-
know Tartaria is a thing that exists. I'm just saying calling the theory that people call Tartaria,
Oh,
Tartaria
right,
is a misnomer
right.
because what they actually mean is like, why do we have all of this ancient or antique buildings that are exceptional and we don't do shit? Now we just make squares that are just ugly fucking piles of trash. But we had all these like spires and ornate shit and like all of these, and like, where did that come from and where did it go and why don't we have it anymore? And why does most of it seem like it's under feet of mud? Like what happened on Earth? So to call it Tartaria is kind of silly, but that's just what people call it, and it doesn't make sense. The two things got merged together, and they shouldn't have been. We call it Antiquitech, and St. Petersburg is like the chief Antiquitech central. All of
Really?
that, all of that. Yeah. Well, actually, I'd say Angkor Wat is probably like the chief. Yeah.
Right.
But St. Petersburg is pretty fucking dope. I want to be there.
Hold on,
Sorry,
St.
I totally
Petersburg.
derailed anything about elections to talk about.
No, it's okay. This is just an election special. I mean, I got to stay there 100%. I can talk about something random.
I'm telling you, man. Like
St. Petersburg.
I'm
we
just
talking
waiting
about
for the
Florida?
steal. I'm waiting for the steal. Like
Man,
I
you
feel
just
like I'm
feel it.
tense. I got
I'm
tension going on. I'm just like this. I'm
I
like,
told.
when's it gonna happen? I'm just
Do-
waiting.
I'm waiting
Do
for
I
them
need
to
to
call
sit-
Trump and everyone to just fucking go insane.
I
It'll
wish.
be
I don't think.
amazing.
I don't know, man. I just those 3 states got
Do-
me nervous. Maybe I'm just
Do I need
obsessing
to
too
send?
much.
Do I need to send one of them ling lings down there to you, loosen up the tension on your neck?
Just calm down a bit.
Yeah,
Walk
ling
on
ling.
your
That's the
back.
only one you need to get. If you get a masseuse, it's got to be a ling ling. All right, that's just it. You go in there, it's a white woman. You're like, I'm good. Black woman. Where's the ling lings at? They know how to massage. All right.
See, but the
That's what I'm-
Linglings are all trafficked. They got 50 Chinese sitting up in a warehouse. You know.
Look, I can't help all that. Okay. All right. I mean, look, man. If I
This is
sit
the way
around
of
all
the world.
day, if I sit around all day and I worry about the plight of billions of people, then I'm liable to just step off a building. Okay. So I just you got to keep it centralized.
So here's something election related. I don't understand. How the fuck can a state, whatever state it is, they say it's a swing state, so it's more neutral. How can they have a fucking president go one way, like Republican or
Yeah.
Democrat, and like
Yeah.
some of the
Senate and
senators and
House
go other
go-
ways?
yeah.
Like, how the fuck does that work? Shouldn't everybody be going all the way? Well, at least in the modern era. See, back in the day, you had some kind of conservative Democrats and you had some kind of liberal Republicans, back in the 80s. And so it was okay. You could do that. You could mix and match, but not anymore. Now it's very polarized. So I don't know how the fuck people are jumping around. Those people just don't understand politics. See, and that's why you just need to get rid of voting, right? Seriously, fuck, this whole concept is stupid. You're bringing the children in to make fucking financial decisions. It's like the dumbest thing in the world, really, when you think about it.
It is pretty dumb.
It's fucking retarded.
Actually,
The adults who know what's
actually-
going on should run the fucking show.
right. Actually, most Americans making financial decisions is a bad thing.
Yeah. Like
I mean, if you want to be honest, like
if
people always are like, they're like, man, the government overspends, and I'm like, let me go check your account.
Oh,
Okay.
oh,
Let me see what you've done
Pennsylvania's
all these
leaning
years.
Trump now. Pennsylvania just leaned Trump.
He just did a lean. Let's take a
It
look
did
at
a lean.
the other
I will-
races.
50.1 to 48.9. That's good because if he wins Pennsylvania, this whole thing is over.
I will only be shocked if Kamala wins. If Trump wins, I'll be like, yeah, that's what I expect.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm the opposite. I'm expecting
know.
her to fucking just grab his
I know.
balls and rip them off at the last minute, and then there's nothing anyone's ever going to be able to do about it.
I don't know if I've already said this, so I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but I also just got the word on the street that some people who are acquainted with higher level people in the world, especially on the banking side of things, have said like all of the really wealthy people like know that Trump is going to win because that's who they want to win. So unfortunately or fortunately for us, like that's actually a bigger predictor than anything else.
So are we just being
And
dangled? Are we just like being puppeted at the moment? Our emotions here are for naught.
yes, in
Well,
fact, your
here,
emotions
here's
are
what the
not for naught because black magicians
yeah
are using them for something. So
yes true
I don't like that shit.
dirty
Makes me want to go
darks,
live in a
dirty
cabin
dark
in the woods.
magicians,
that's why I just don't
dirty
care.
darks.
I'm like, whatever,
The
shit'll
dirty
happen.
darks.
Shit'll
Yeah,
happen,
the
and
dirty
I will
darks.
still
Yeah,
go to the store and buy blueberries. So, oh well.
yeah. That's what you.
I'm interested to see
I-
the
I-
slew of lawsuits and stuff that pop up afterwards. Like the next couple days will be exciting.
yeah, look, it's well, I'm still of the mindset that like for some reason like these niggas is dead set against Trump. I'm like it's like some reason because I like I didn't really participate in anything at all. Period. I didn't even look at anything political, but nothing has ever been like this. Like fuck this guy. You
Like
know what
they're
I'm
willing to
saying?
burn the
Like
Constitution to prevent him from being president.
Yeah.
They're willing to take the mask all the way off and show their fucking communist face.
yeah. So whether it's for the people against look, man, there's no way for somebody to be for everybody. It just can't happen. All right, there's no society or world that actually works in. But there's obviously something that a large subset of higher ups do not like about him. Okay, there's something about him
And it can't
that they're
just
not
because he did the
feeling.
grab her by the pussy stuff and that he's crass. It can't just be that
Yeah,
he's
that's
an
not
he's
enough.
just it's got to be something else there.
No, because Eminem made songs about damn taking a woman, beating her up, and throwing her in the damn trunk. You know what I'm saying? They got her up there endorsing Kamala. Say, man, we love women. I'm like, oh, bud, your whole career was over here, degrading women and domestic abuse. You want to be honest. I mean, it's your career. Now Eminem has some hits, okay? I ain't gonna take that away from him. But it's like, hey, man,
But the content.
He's a
yeah.
weirdo these days. I see him and there's like something up with him. Like
Yeah.
he's like a
clone.
maybe or a
He's a
shell.
clone.
Yeah, he's like a shell of the person he was. Like he's just there's something not right about him.
And he doesn't remember his own life, which I mean can happen from severe drug abuse. So like maybe that's all there is to it. But
I've known people who
they'll be
smoke
like,
meth for 40 years every day
Yeah.
and still remember everything. So I
Yeah.
don't know what the fuck that's about.
Right. So I think it's more likely that he's a clone. And that's why he's like, oh, yeah, no, I totally remember that. Yep, I was there. I did that.
And I'm telling you, Diddy's eyes are too close together. Diddy's
Is
eyes
that
are too
right?
close together.
They
Yep.
fucked the clone up.
What's
Yep,
that
go.
mean? Does that mean he's got like Down syndrome or something?
I think it's fetal alcohol, isn't it?
No, I think it's a bad. It looks like a bad double, like the original Diddy. Like his eyes weren't so close together.
So you said the OG Diddy's dead?
I don't know. I didn't say
Well,
that. I don't know. Like
People
if it happened
don't
after
you-
1968, I
allegedly.
really don't give a fuck about it. Okay, this is my evening
Don't your
election
features change
special.
a little bit as you get older? Like stuff changes, like
Yeah,
facial
and
construction.
they all have like plastic surgery too. So I don't know what their face should look like anymore. Like early P. Diddy is like the ugliest motherfucker. And then now he's like still ugly, but not like as ugly. So how did you get better looking over time? That's not usually how time goes.
It worked that way for me. So
Man,
I guess it can go there. It's fair.
I'm
there
way
it is,
hotter than
guys.
I
All
was
right,
when I was 30. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
And women love his little gray right there.
Oh
Let's
man, you sound like me when I'm. You sound like me when I'm talking to the boys on the basketball court.
Yeah,
They're like,
I was
"Man,
doing this a
I'm
lot.
dude."
And it's like it took me to almost being 50 for me to actually be able to grow a beard. Like it still doesn't even come in full on the sides there, So
Well, to grow a beard, you have to have dedication, which I do not have.
I do not.
Because
Yeah.
it starts itching.
Yeah, and I don't like
Like,
you
literally,
getting
like-
you're trying to eat shit and it's all up in your fucking under your nose. You're like, what the fuck is this about? I'm not. What am I, caveman? Fuck.
You're saving
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, so Poly Market betting now has Donald Trump up at 84% to win.
He's gonna
84
win.
percentile. Let's talk about some of these
Oh,
Senate
So everybody
races.
go put your money on Kamala on the fucking betting sites because you will
This
win in a
nigga.
landslide when she steals this shit in the last minute. You think I'm
Well,
fucking playing?
Did you guys already talk about how Florida had this discrepancy between, like, who, I think it was Florida, somewhere, maybe Georgia, I don't know, between who voted for Kamala and then who voted to make abortion, whatever, safe
Great again?
forever. All right. So, like, way more people voted to have abortion than voted for Kamala. And that's usually like a blue thing. So that shows that, like, even people that should be voting for her are not voting for her.
Right.
That's weird. See, I like those weird outlier statistics that show like when an outgoing president has like X number of support, like below 30%, they've never been their party has never been elected after them, right? So
Yeah.
there's a lot of statistics that show things are so bad that she won't get elected.
And she didn't go to
But
that dinner, and
that-
the only
not-
person who did that didn't win.
None of that shit takes into consideration their theft machine.
Right.
Period.
But
So
I just don't know if they have that in the bag.
they
but I
hire
think
homeless
do.
people to stuff ballots. It's not complicated and it's scary, you know?
It is.
So
Said homeless folk.
Yeah.
Man, the homeless people.
did you see James O'Keefe put out that video today in Philadelphia where they were saying that you could, as an illegal alien, you could get an ITN number, and it was some sort of number that you could get that was a sort of an identification number, and then you could go and take that to go into the precinct and vote. And it was funny because I watched the whole sequence of it today.
Right.
He put the video out, and then like 2 hours later, there was a response from the company. 2 hours later, there was a response from the city. I mean, it was a whole chain reaction all throughout today from James O'Keefe's video that came out this morning. It was really kind of fascinating to watch. But yeah, they were telling motherfuckers in Philadelphia, come get your ITN number, and then you can just go right across the street and vote whether you're a citizen or not. And the motherfucker who was at the building, who answered the door for him, was like some fucking schmo who barely spoke English. It was like, what the fuck is going on here? Our country is a complete and total fucking cesspool, and every single one of these goddamn migrants need to be fucking deported or shot. They built a very nice fucking wall in Berlin for many fucking years. Kept a lot of people over it, okay?
Allegedly.
Why the fuck can't we have a Berlin Wall down in fucking Mexico
Allegedly,
with
you
like
could-
turrets
you could
and a
shoot
moat
them
with
first
alligators?
and then deport them. Make a float of alligators, tie them all together, and then put all the immigrants on their backs, and then hit them on the butt, and they'll float off into the ocean. I like my idea.
It's a little
Hey, there
complicated,
was
but
a-
hey,
There was a video.
I say feed
on
them to the
Twitter.
alligators in the moat.
Well, I was about to say there was a video on Twitter circling around. I don't know if it's AI or not, but some alligator dragging some dude through the water butt naked. Dude was dead as hell. The alligators had a bit just dragging
Hey,
him. I was
like at least a
alligators
couple
are
times a
fucked
year,
up.
people down in Florida get munched on. Like it's a real threat. We kind of take for granted, you know.
I
I
don't
lived in
take
Florida a
nothing
long
for
time.
granted.
Well, you ain't got no
Look.
alligators up in North Carolina. You got
I
like
don't give a
mountain lions
fuck.
and shit.
I stay out of the water because I can't see shit. I don't give a damn. If this ain't no pool that's 5 foot or less, okay? 5 foot or less, I don't give a damn about no 10-foot pool or nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to go out there and have to worry about my survival. Okay? 5-foot pool. If it's not that, fuck 'em.
Now,
All right?
see,
I'm not getting in no ocean. I ain't getting in no pond. Okay? I ain't getting in no puddle of water. There's bacteria in there. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about a puddle.
I'll
I ain't messing
draw
with
a
it.
line from like the northeast, like kind of diagonal across the country, and anything on that sort of northwest side, I will swim in a lake or a river. But anywhere else, I won't, because then you start getting bugs and weird things and eels and like swamp creatures and no.
Look, the last time I messed around with any type of body of water, I got on a jet ski. Now I did enjoy my time on the jet ski.
That sounds fun.
Okay, but the problem is that when I got in the water, when I went home later on that night, something had bit me right there around my asshole. All right, I
Wow.
got bit.
What the
I
fuck?
got bit. Yeah, and I was like,
That's-
no more water for me. No
That's
more
scary. I'm
strange
scared
waters for me.
now. Okay, but that's
Yes.
over on the east. That's what I'm saying. They just draw this line. You can only swim on the other side.
Fuck that. The shit out there, man. The shit lingers. Okay.
Cube,
And
though,
I'm-
Cube, I feel like
I'm-
you live a sheltered life, man. I mean, you got
I
to.
do. Look, man, I'm trying to tell you, bud, I would have a dystopian society where everywhere you went, you did not go outside. That thing, it had a tunnel. You did everything through this tunnel. Okay, drove everything. I don't want no outside forces at all. I don't want no wind or nothing.
You
Okay,
are you need to
giving
get some
shit.
better help. You need to go, yeah, get on better help, man. You need some
Yeah,
counseling.
Better
I
help.
want
Is that
all
the
my
AI
activities
counselor?
inside. Yeah, I mean, I want all my activities inside, all of them. I
Did
don't want
you
to
guys
hike or nothing.
like the
Hang on, hang on,
normies?
hang on. Uh oh. Donald Trump has just taken the lead in Wisconsin.
Woo!
49.44 to 49.06. It's very slim, but there's a little bit of hope before they rip our fucking guts out right at 2 o'clock in the
Tell me
morning with a
he's gonna
ballot dump.
win. He's gonna win. No
Oh,
doubt
what you have,
about it.
Lindsay?
Huh?
Well, you were about to say something.
Oh, I said he's gonna win no matter what. There's no doubt about it in my mind. I mean, I like
Okay.
I could always be wrong.
The
wrong
more I
again,
hear
but
shit like that, the more I know she's gonna steal it. Like the more confident people get throughout the night, the more confident I'm gonna be she's gonna steal it.
I've been confident for months, actually, maybe even years. I just feel like that's the better way for them to go as a ruling global cabal. So, like, I think they're going to go that way. And I think they'll love it when everyone just fucking melts down completely and just all that emotion is like pouring out. They could send them into riots. Like, they could,
I want to
they could
see.
do so much with this.
I can't wait to see all the election denial shit that he's not legitimate and like all the fucking stuff that they said that he was. Like, I just can't wait.
I love it. They're like, Hillary Clinton never would, like, no one but the Republicans ever contest the thing. And then there's like footage of Hillary being like, I should have won. They stole it. Like, like, dude,
Yeah.
shut up.
Yeah, about that. Yeah, about that. Look, I mean, that wasn't us saying that the election wasn't stolen from us. That was factual information that we gave. That's
So
what
let
they
me
were
make this
saying.
really clear. I don't think we've ever had a fair election ever. Never. Like we don't have fair elections in this country. Let me make this really clear.
Yes.
Even Kennedy, who everyone fucking loved, stole his election. This is old news. He had the mob steal 3 ballot boxes. His dad set it up. And they got him in office, and that's why they felt doubly betrayed with all the Robert Kennedy shit. Okay. Kennedy should never have been president. Johnson never won a fucking fair election ever in his goddamn life. He had his mafia guys stuffing ballots every fucking election. I mean, when the fuck? I'm not really up on Ford and those guys in there, but after that was what, Reagan? Reagan was probably as fair as they got. Reagan was probably the fairest era of elections in this country ever.
Well, Reagan pretty almost swept the whole nation, didn't he?
Yeah.
It was like
Because
one
he was
state that he
charismatic.
lost.
They got smart. They're like, oh, we don't have to steal this one. We can just put a charismatic guy everyone already loves in there. So that's what they did.
Wasn't he a movie star?
Yes.
Was he a movie star?
Yes, he was the governor of California.
Like a cowboy or something in his films or something.
I'm not really too up on his. He wasn't the best actor. You know what I mean? He's not legendary or known for that.
He
But
a C actor? He was a
But
C.
you see, I think what it is the intelligence world. They learn different techniques of getting people in power, right? And I think with Reagan, there was like, let's just put an actor in there who everyone really loves, right? And so I have no doubts they were behind part of Schwarzenegger's push. I have no doubts because he was in the same vein. They were trying it again, right? The actor thing. So.
Well, that's actually my point. Is I don't think there is an election. I think it's a selection, and I think that they selected him a long time ago, and this has been part of their plan. And that Donald Trump presents a better vessel for all of their shit to actually occur than she does.
But see, okay, so
she's not even good at being a puppet,
right?
Like,
she's not. She's terrible.
Talk. So, like, I just don't think they want her.
But see, what this tells me is follow this train of logic. This is like there has to be at some point then somewhere up in the ether that is beyond the sight of mortal man. There has to be this point of overlap, of crossroads, of where the hardcore business people who really don't give a fuck about none of the social nonsense and just care about making money, this typical old school Republican mindset types,
yep.
who control a vast swaths of money with this fucking woke Jewish ideology money. There has to be an overlap where it doesn't seem there would be, because they fight like cats and dogs in our faces, right? But this only makes sense if there is that overlap at some point of nexus between those two. And I don't know. I don't know where that exists or who the players would be in that overlap.
Sometimes
So.
I feel like they're literally like playing like the show Vox Machina. I don't know if you know this show, but like they're actually writing it by playing a game of Dungeons and Dragons or something, right? And so like they're actually rolling, and then like whatever happens, like that's what's gonna happen in the show, allegedly.
Oh, interesting.
Right. And so I sometimes wonder if these fucking elite like pedophile fucks are actually just like playing chess, and they're like, oh nope, see, oh Trump has to go in now because we won, haha, whatever. Like they're just not actually even fucking serious people. They're just like fucking around.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they give a shit.
They may.
So yeah, I don't know.
They may care. They may care. I want to talk about the
Holy shit.
What's up?
NBC is now projecting that Trump was going to win Iowa, which is crazy because it looked like Harris was up in the polls in Iowa, just barely, but she was up in the polls.
Yeah, that shouldn't have been the case. Iowa,
yeah.
Iowa.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a new bet. How many people are gonna light themselves on fire tomorrow?
God, not enough.
No.
Oh my God! If you light yourself on fire, you're really a fucking idiot.
Dude,
Okay,
they're gonna do
just
it.
There's
like,
no cause on earth worth burning your fucking balls off.
Not if you're a
yeah. I
Democrat.
mean, my God, man, it's dumb. Man, what is it? I was looking over here at the Senate races. Oh, Carrie Lake. Ever since she lost that governorship to the damn woman who
stole the election,
counted her own votes.
She's the most corrupt cunt I've ever seen in politics. She's horrible. That whole system in Maricopa County is dog shit.
And ratified her own election.
Oh look, I won.
How the fuck you do that? But somehow she was over the election process that she was running for. I was like, okay, that's bad, but whatever. But but Carrie Lake's currently getting her ass kicked.
Carrie Lake
just had a fall from grace.
She just comes off as too fake. She comes off as fake as fuck. I don't give a fuck what politics she's behind. She comes off as inauthentic. She comes off like she was a fucking news anchor because she was. So it looked very contrived.
Okay,
her whole thing was contrived. It felt very contrived. It didn't feel very organic at all. You know,
she's robotic.
Like she was picked by the Republican Party. Hey, you're hot. You got a good presentation. Let's put some money behind you and see what we can do. And I have no doubts that they stole that election from her. Like it was overwhelming. You know, like Maricopa County is really crazy how fucking corrupt they are. It's unbelievable. And that guy Richter, who was in there, who was the supervisor of elections, who just recently resigned because of corruption charges. Like it's the nuts running the nut house over there.
Dude, it'd be amazing if Trump wins and then he actually does put everyone in camps and like,
oh my God,
everyone. And, like,
I would love it. I would love it.
Totally fucking
hail victory.
His political opponents, jail them all. Like I would not love it on principle, but some part of me would be deeply satisfied.
Here's the deal: all of us are statists. We just want it. We just want our state, and so, I have no problems with him rounding up these fucking people, especially guys like Jack Smith, the U.S. attorney who was unlawfully appointed to prosecute those cases on behalf of the Biden administration. And then you got Letitia, what the fuck's her name? Letitia James, is that her name, up in New York? And you got Fannie, what's her name? Mm-hmm. Fannie Willis in fucking Atlanta. Oh my God, these motherfuckers would rot in a jail cell for the rest of their lives on fucking sedition charges and election interference, all that stuff. Yeah. We need we need to make concentration camps great again.
There was like someone who tweeted like, you know, it was a black lady or maybe she was high yellow. I'm not really sure, but she was
not
like,
a high yellow.
I'm just getting ready. So tomorrow, I mean, I don't know. There might be restaurants saying no blacks allowed. I'm like, what? Can you imagine being that dumb?
I can't believe that people actually think that stuff.
Yeah, I'm like, you're crazy, dude.
Man, the last place that fucked up like that was Denny's, okay? And they after that it was like, okay.
What did they do? Did they have a black section or something?
Nah, I think for some reason they wouldn't serve these black people for some reason. It was a big lawsuit. God, it's like over 20 years ago.
Yeah, I vaguely remember what you're talking about. That was probably another one of those bullshit contrived lawsuits, like the fucking gay cake.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, that was in the 90s. Okay, 1994. Denny's settled a class action lawsuit filed by black customers who had been refused service, forced to wait longer, or
Holy
pay
shit.
more than white customers.
Paid
So,
more.
like,
Republicans
that was
only
like
two away
legit.
from taking the Republicans only 2 seats away from taking the Senate.
It's gonna happen. So it's gonna be
It's
Republican
wild.
Senate, and Donald Trump's gonna be.
And it's gonna be a and a Republican
Republican.
House. It's gonna be all Republican. It's gonna be a Republican full House, pretty much.
I'm gonna say that's what I called.
Until she steals it at 3:00 in the morning. Watch. I'm gonna fucking. By the time we're done here, I'm gonna be like, "You're right. He's gonna win." I'm gonna be all confident, and I'm gonna wake up at fucking 6 in the morning, and it's gonna be like Kamala wins. I'm gonna be like, "I fucking told you."
Just don't wake up in that reality. Just go, nope. I wake up in the reality where Donald Trump wins.
And they said, just don't wake up in that reality.
Just do it.
Look, I don't think you can just unplug and plug back into another matrix. I don't think that's the way this works. Well, I don't know. They did ship us to a different dimension in 2020. I would like to go back to the previous timeline. Okay,
the one where
I
like
appreciate
the stores
it.
still have things in them all the time. There's not just entire sections of the store that are just empty for some reason. You're like, what? Are we still not able to deliver things now? Like, why isn't there bread here? This is a store, dude.
No, you know why? It's because okay, so I'm with cars right now. This particular car, Colorado, they went through, I guess, the plant that was making all the parts for Colorado's could no longer get raw materials. I guess they lost the contract or whatever to get the raw materials to make the parts. So instead of figuring that out, GM just said, "Okay, we're going to shut that plant down and move it to China. It'll be next year for you can get parts for that vehicle."
What
I'm
the
like, you know they're still on the road, right? So if like one breaks down, like they ain't gonna be able to drive.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Okay, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but we got enough parts to keep making them and selling them, but we ain't got no parts to fix them with. I'm like, okay, that's bullshit. Yeah. So, guys, if you got a Colorado, especially if you got a 2018, 2019,
sell it.
you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and get rid of it.
Yeah.
Because if it breaks down, you ain't gonna be able to fix it. And I'm being straight up. Like, I'm not bullshitting. I'm being straight up. You will not be able to fix it.
The idea of buying an American car has been like, I would never even consider it. Not since I was a kid. I grew up in a family that had fucking Chevrolet station wagon, a Ford Fairlane. Like, my parents always bought American cars, and they were the fucking worst, stinkiest, shitty cars. I always got fucking car sick in. And I was like, fuck this. I'm never buying an American car. And then over the years, I learned that the Japanese really make a much better car for cheaper, especially today. Like, my next car, I'm buying me a Toyota motherfucking Tacoma with the fucking little thing on the back so I can go sleep in it and shit. It's going to be fucking awesome.
What's the thing in the back to sleep in it? What do you mean?
You know, the little cabin thing you put in the back. It's going to be fucking awesome.
Those are cool.
I work at a Chevrolet dealership, so it'd be pointless for me to buy anything but that. So
that's true.
You can probably get a discount, huh?
Oh yeah. You get GM employee discount. Yep.
I got a Ford for my road trip, so I have a Ford van, and I wouldn't have ever had a Ford otherwise because I was always taught American things are shit, and so I always had Hondas and Acuras. But I fucking love this thing. Like, I think they do vans and trucks like exceptionally well. This van is a fucking trooper. It is amazing.
I find when I get into like a standard work, like a Ford or Chevy, and everything from the door handles to the mirrors to the stereo to the shape of the dash always felt so like industrial and not really welcoming. And like, so none of their pickup trucks or any of that shit ever seemed like
non-welcoming.
Yeah, not
you
welcoming.
You ain't been in the new ones.
Like, you get in a goddamn Lexus, that's welcoming. You get in a Lexus fucking $100,000 Lexus, you're like, whoa. Not enough goddamn Chevy Avalanche. Let me tell you.
You ain't been in the new ones. You just said Chevy Avalanche,
or whatever the fuck. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know cars.
They ain't made Avalanche in like damn 15 years. Look, man.
I got the Gilgo Beach Killer on my brain. I've been watching all them things. He drives an Avalanche.
Hey, these new ones, Bo. You got a tablet for your radio, cuz that's what it is.
So how does it make
Straight
that
up
jive
tapping.
with law
It's a
enforcement?
big
Because
ass
you ain't allowed
screen.
to have screens up in cars. So how are they getting away with this
It's
shit
a
lately?
big ass screen, cause a big ass. It's like a
Mhm.
damn. It's like a 15-inch screen in there, dude.
It's like bigger than the TVs we had when I was a kid.
Yeah,
Motherfucker.
yeah, they're like huge. They've made them sleek now. They've changed the design, made them sleek. But but look, hey, I tell people for each their own. People will come and be like, "Man, I'm done with Chevy. I'm gonna go buy something else." I said, "Cool." I mean that sounds good. It's your money. You make your money. You can buy whatever you want to. Just let you know they got a service department that's making money as well, because those break down too. And when they break down, you take them to them. That's why they got a service department. They ain't got it there just to. We just feel like paying some guys to sit around. Nah, this shit breaks down. It's, it's designed to break down. It's okay.
I had this weird experience where I was like, what? None of my cars have ever needed any work. Like I have really good car luck. Our cars are really great and da 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 da. And then I realized I actually just had never owned a car for longer than like a year and a half. So I just like I
Oh,
never
well, there you
had
go.
time to have a car that broke down. Like I just moved a lot and like lived abroad and came back and so I just like never had a fucking car for
You
very
see,
long.
I've
So
owned a lot of cars and I've owned a lot of new cars because I would just back in when the world wasn't broken, you could go and buy a car for $300 a month on a
that's true.
finance. You know, when the world wasn't broken, you'd have a decent job, you could get a fucking car. I never had problems getting cars. I went through a ton of cars, and then but nowadays you could get a car. It's like $800 a month. It's like
Are we
fuck
still at
you.
that level? Is that still
Yeah.
what's going on?
hmm
What the fuck?
So that's why I got a motorcycle, because that
Yeah.
motherfucker with that, my insurance and my gas, my bill, my insurance, my gas, all under $200 a month. Compared to, and I look cool on it, of course. Compared to like getting a fucking car that would have cost me like fucking way more.
Plus, yeah,
I've,
gas
I've, I've,
mileage.
yeah, I've bought two cars and both of them, for me, one of them was $150 a month, and the other one was $180 a month
In your
for 5 years.
lifetime, you've had two cars?
Well, since I've been like of age where I could say I'm an adult and I work. Yeah, yeah. So I bought two cars. One of them was an HHR,
Yo, why don't you go splurge and go get yourself
and
a car, bro? You just treat yourself.
Yeah.
no, I got one right now. I got a 2019 Chevrolet Sonic. It ain't. I bought it with what it have on it. Had 6,000 miles on it. It's got 33,000 miles now. I bought it in November 2019.
Hmm.
Damn. So I've had
And you
like
paying under $200 a month on it?
Oh, it's already paid off. I paid it off early.
Nerd.
I paid it off 6 months early. I ended up paying $200
See, a
a month when
financier
it
would
was
tell
like
you that's not good to do that.
$180.
They tell you to keep your money and invest it in other things along the meantime. That's what they would tell you. Mhm.
We're talking about like $15.
Yeah, still.
I've had an incredible
Uh
number of cars in my life.
Donald Trump's odds are up to 88% on the betting
Fucking,
sites.
I fucking told you.
I'm going to put my money on Kamala right now.
We'll see.
Trump's going to win Michigan too. He's at 60%.
Dude, see?
And
it's
Harris is going to
done.
take Wisconsin, looking like.
It's nah. We'll go back.
All he needs is one of those.
Wisconsin.
Yeah, dude, I dated a girl from Wisconsin. That fucking accent annoyed the shit out of me. It's almost as bad as
Wisconsin.
being from Buffalo.
Oh, it's adorable.
You see-
I dated a girl from Buffalo. That shit annoyed the fuck out of me, real quick.
Was she a redhead?
No.
Well, you see, you missed out on the Halloween special. The last thing I played was October 31st. You missed out on that day. It was Pumpkin Pounder Day.
Pumpkin Pounder Day.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, young lady said it was that was the day to go out and find you a ginger and fuck her and impregnate her, pretty much. I mean,
Oh, really?
that's what
That
she was
sounds
saying.
horrific.
Yeah, yes. No, man. I mean, she looked pretty good. She was like, "Hey, we need help out here." You know what I'm saying?
Trump's going to
And
win
I was like,
Montana.
I thought he already did.
Yeah, I thought he already won
No.
that one.
Mm-mm.
Official. Hold on. What are you still on Fox?
I'm watching Robert Gouvier. He's like my favorite fucking legal guy on YouTube. He covers all the Trump legal documents. I love legal documents. But no, he's got like 4 different fucking screens up from Fox, CNN, BBC, and some other one. Fuck BBC. Fuck the BBC. Don't be watching our elections. Goddamn foreigners.
Bud,
That's
look,
good.
I
I
hate the
don't
British.
give
The
a damn
British
what
can straight
nobody.
fuck right off. I can't believe we're descended
I
from them.
don't.
It's almost
I
embarrassing.
don't give a damn what nobody says. America is still the talk of the town.
It
Everywhere
is.
you go,
Yeah.
Yeah, it will always
they
be.
put them. It's still the talk of the town, dude. So like as much as people are like, oh, I don't want to, man, motherfuckers want to be here because a lot of other places in the world suck, man. It just is what it is. I don't know how else to say it. Like you look around, like Australia. Do you really want to be in Australia?
Bro, no, I'm trying to
I
smuggle
mean,
my boy Tony out of there, that fucking place.
you know what I'm saying? It's just like, Bo, you can't have no gun. The shit out there that'll kill you. That's what's so bad about not being able to have a gun is they got so much shit that'll kill you out there.
Yeah, come
It seemed like the
on.
place you need a gun.
More guns. Huh.
Yeah. It said we definitely need guns. All this shit out here that can eat us.
Yeah,
Damn.
completely and totally like fuck Australia and New Zealand too. Oh,
And Australia, during the COVID, they were straight up putting people in camps. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, they were.
They were taking people to the camp. I
And
was like,
people
there ain't
did
no
it.
way in hell. Yeah.
No, we
So
would
they-
burn that shit down. We would go nuts. We have lots of guns, so they're not going to try that here.
Yeah, I was like, when they were sitting there, like, oh, Trump will put people in camps. I said, Bo, it's just Australia. They put niggas right in the camp. There were folks recording it. I was like,
But
is
those
this
same
real?
people will defend that. Like, no, that was public health. Like, you're so
Oh my
not
God.
intelligent.
I forgot. Just hearing those terms, those two words together, public health, is just like makes me want to just choke somebody.
That shouldn't even be allowed to be said out loud. There's no such thing. It's not even a real thing. It's a CIA created
It's another
like,
made-up
mind
word.
worm
Yeah.
to control your fucking behavior. There's nothing that is public about your health.
I'm not a trigger word. One of
Ugh.
those.
Yes.
Golly,
Yeah.
what was the
Like unless these motherfuckers are falling over dead in the street in front of me, like shut the fuck up about your nonsense.
And even then, it's my fucking choice to go out or not. Like, so, like, I'll deal with it. If I go out and I die, okay, I'm dead. Like, that's not your business. It's not your fault. It's mine. Me. I own my
no,
life.
it's no longer your body, your choice because it could affect somebody else.
Right.
But even though with a baby, that's not somebody else somehow.
God.
Yeah, I mean, I still don't get that. I'm still like the whole argument about that. Oh, well, that could affect another human being. I was like, well, y'all allow people to just kill babies randomly. Well, they're not babies yet. They're not humans yet. I'm like,
That's
well,
wild, the shit we tell ourselves, isn't it?
There's just a clump of cells. I'm like, you're just a clump of cells. Do I get to kill you because I don't like you?
You are
Because
just a
I
clump of
feel
cells.
inconvenient?
yeah, I'm just
Fuck.
like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's just like that. Like the argument's not, at the end of the day, like I said, man, about don't give a shit.
Oh,
You know what
Donald
I'm saying?
Trump
It's
won
just
Kansas.
whatever, dude. Oh, Kansas. What,
Mhm.
like 5 people vote out there? How many people in Kansas? Is there like 30?
That is the worst
35
state in the
people?
world to drive through with a trailer. The whole state, the highways are like this. They're like fucking up and down. Like you're going up these little mini hills for the whole state. Literally, I drove through that fucking state with a trailer on my fucking car at like 30 miles an hour. It was grueling.
I thought Kansas was flat.
It's supposed to be, but it's not totally flat. It's a little wavy.
Have you seen like a topographical map of? I mean, I'm sure you have, but have you seen it like really a topographical map of the United States? It's like the entire western half is just mountains, and then all the east is
Yeah.
nothing. It's just
Yeah.
absolutely.
Well, you got the
flat, like,
Appalachia ones, but they're kind of small compared to the Rockies.
tiny compared to, and they're the only bumps anywhere over there. Like, and
And if people never been to Colorado, they don't understand where the Rockies are. Like
Yeah.
until you've been out 70, you don't know nothing about mountains. Like that is some shit right there.
Well, I went from Washington, where I was surrounded 360 degrees by mountains, and then I came here, where I'm surrounded
Yeah.
by beautiful mountains. I'm
It-
very lucky.
I feel like they offer an element of security. They make people feel safe. I think that's like a real thing. And so
I talk about the same thing. I'm like,
Uh,
that fucking mountain holds it down for us. It makes there's this, like, I don't know what that is. Stability.
it like keeps out something from beyond or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a weird psychological, ancient tribal thing that we haven't
Totally.
abandoned yet. But
Yeah, the
but
open
yeah, I love it.
flat plains, like, how could you feel safe there? And then,
Yeah, I know,
like,
right?
There's tornadoes, there's floods, there's like, it's just all chaos. No, you gotta be in the mountains. It's the only good.
okay, so I
place.
keep seeing all these Trump wins, but they ain't updating his electoral college numbers. Just
It's
get it to
not official yet,
269 so I
man.
can feel confident before they pull it out from under me.
So when
It's
they
not
talk
official
about
yet.
is what?
It's because it's not official yet, man.
Oh,
They still, they still got. They saying that the percentage is low as far as counting in a lot of these places. Like it's 60% in Pennsylvania, 24% in Michigan. Why Michigan so slow? Is it snowing up there right now? 56% in Wisconsin, 5.3% in Minnesota. I mean,
oh,
damn.
yeah.
I
Huh.
mean,
Should we be like
that's
happy
like,
or sad about that? Like, does that mean they're taking more time and doing it right without machines, or does that mean they're like slow rolling it so they can bring in buttloads of more votes when they need to?
I don't know, but Minnesota, that is Tim Walz's, that is where he was governor at, isn't he?
Dude, that'd
Isn't
be
that right?
awesome if it went to Trump.
Wow,
Minneapolis.
Trump is up in
Well, look,
Pennsylvania by 2 points.
well,
That's
look,
good.
bud. I mean,
Dude,
with the disaster that happened in 2020 in Minneapolis, my God, they let the fucking city burn. People forget about that shit. They
I don't
talk
know
about
how.
January 6th. I was like, well, folks like really died during those BLM riots,
Yeah,
right? Like, folks really
actually.
died and people lost shit and like places got raided and folks got fucked up. Like, oh, well, that's okay though. Black people were just, it was their time to rise and fuck shit up. I was like,
But remember, too, they were like, this apartment building burned down. You're like, who lived there? Black people. So, like, wait, what was the fucking point of this all? You idiots.
yeah, it was a swing and a miss. It's just like, you know, we felt like we needed to do something, and so we tore our own shit up.
Yeah.
It's like that like these places are gonna move out of your neighborhood now, and then we had people like in Chicago. It was like the black people like these WalMarts they can't move out. How are they gonna go get groceries and their medicines? I was like, well, tell your nigga kids to stop go stealing shit from them, man. I mean, damn, can you control your kids, bud?
For real.
That look, man. When Walmart moves out because you're stealing shit from them, man, it just is what it is, man.
I
They
blame
make a lot of
I
money.
blame rap music. The
Well,
Rap
critics were
music?
right. The critics of rap music in the 80s were right. It destroyed an entire race of people in America. It's
but be
horrible.
honest,
It fed the prison industrial complex. It was comprised. It was all thought up by a bunch of Jews,
there.
and and
You
it's
can't
horrible,
actually
man.
blame the rap music. You have to
You
blame
go
the
back and
people who made
go
the rap music that way.
like if you could go back in time and observe black communities in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, they were very different. They were not very different from white communities at
No.
all. They didn't speak differently. They didn't have none of the ebonics. They didn't wear their pants all saggy. They wore nice clothes and suits, and like they were just that's how multiculturalism should work,
Yeah.
right? That's how it
Well,
should work. But then
was
it was
like-
intentionally destroyed. It
Yeah.
was definitely intentionally destroyed by
Yeah.
Jews, of course.
And it's why do Jews hate, sorry, crypto Jews, whatever we're calling these people, why do they hate black people so much?
Oh, because they're like the epitome of racists. Like they think that
But like very
they think that
specifically
white
black
people, normal white people, are inferior to them, and they think everyone below that is even worse. Like they don't even like acknowledge them as human. Like beyond,
It's
like
fucking
they're not even
wild.
filth to them.
Like the level of hatred of specifically black people is like off the
And the Jews are the
fucking
most
chain.
inbred people on planet Earth. It's fucking unbelievable. Really, it's crazy that they should
It's
fucking
inbred.
point the finger at anybody. You can trace all white Jews
Inbred.
back to a tribe of 350 people, about 800 years ago. That's a fact.
The
Hmm.
also
Virginia's slipping.
yeah, it'll come back.
I hope so.
To also Black Wall Street. I didn't even know anything about Black Wall Street until I don't know, like I feel like the last 6 years or something. And I never learned about that shit.
And I only know a little bit about Black Wall Street. I've heard a little bit about it, but I haven't really dug into it. But yeah, there was a thing of Black Wall
Yeah.
Street. But I can see the fucking white people who were doing financial stuff then wouldn't want to let black people in. Like there was a time when it was like outright, we don't want black people doing this with us.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
not the ad. That is not the case today anymore. I don't think there's really anybody
No.
who's of that mindset, right? People just want cultural conformity. They don't give a fuck about nothing else, really.
There's some
So-
racist people that are genuinely whatever, but like there are very few of them. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, true.
They're always gonna be
Yeah,
there.
yeah, that's true. They ain't nobody out there, with signs and shit trying to ring you off.
I feel like I'm the only anti-racist who loves Hitler. Is that possible?
Maybe.
Yes.
I don't know, dude. It's actually coming back into the zeitgeist to think about Hitler and his ideas. Of
Hey,
what
the more you
actually
dig into
happened.
it, the more you find out that he was a friend of the Jews
Yeah.
in some weird ways.
Right. But
Friend of the
I
Jews.
see more and more like, you know, tweets and just posts and just people talking about like, hey, here's actually what Hitler was saying. And
Yeah.
also, by the way, here's some people in a concentration camp swimming in a
So,
pool.
you know, one of the things that I've seen though now as having gone, let me see, I'm at about 1942 in as far as my research on Hitler and the war and just everything. And really, when you start to get into his, I mean, I got speeches of his going back to the fucking 20s, you know, so 20 years of speeches, and you can see the shift in his attitude and over time. Um, he was so idealistic and rigid in his ideologies in the very beginning, and it was uh, more ideologically brutal of an, you know, I would say. And over time, he softened up, and he kind of he brought a lot of minorities and foreign minorities into his into the Wehrmacht. You know, the Wehrmacht SS ended up being like probably the most diverse fighting force the world had ever seen. Had a lot of Asians, North Africans, um, so and that took a lot of years for him to capitulate to. Same thing with Jews, because everywhere he fucking looked, somebody had a Jewish grandpa. You know what I mean? And after a while, he couldn't kick everybody out of the fucking army. You know, so by the end of the war, there were over 900,000 German soldiers who had or of Jewish ancestry, meaning they had like a Jewish grandfather or something like that. You know, so and he had to sign off on that. There's the documents where he actually had to allow that to happen. So it wasn't
That's
exactly. Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
You never really hear about that.
No.
People too busy talking about atrocity shit.
Turns out people only want to talk about 6 million people died.
That is like the gas, to me, the gas chamber stories are the dumbest of all time. They're so easily disprovable. Like, I wish I could get some Zyklon B. I'd dump it out right here and we could throw a party. Like, Zyklon B won't do anything to you unless you have the very important Dagesh circulation device. I want to get one of those tattooed on me. It'd be so cool.
Oh my God.
Right here.
That disproves the Holocaust right there.
Damn. Man, you walk around doing that, but I mean, now folks will have signs after you. You know what I'm saying? That's one of those things, but that's one of those things. And look, hey, I'm open to any information that people give me, and you can take it in and you can decide for yourself whether you believe it or not. But it's certain topics, and that's one of those topics that, bud. I mean, folks will get their guns out over that one. All right, they will cut up.
It's true.
If you start a Holocaust denier,
it's wild
folks
because
will
even
cut
people
up.
who are against censorship will draw the line at Holocaust denial, which is like, what are you
Yep.
talking about? So what if I were to say that, you know, I think the British really won the war and it's been a conspiracy that America even exists this whole time? Like, nobody would fucking say I can't discuss that. They would mock me. They would whatever. I could come up with some other crazy shit. Like Lincoln was from fucking outer space, from Mars, right? And he fucking was an alien as a people would just mock me, right? But if I say there were no gas chambers, automatically I'm a fucking racist, anti-Semitic asshole, and they just need to shut me up, right? That's like the train of thought because we've been conditioned that way. But it's really kind of sad because the whole gas chamber story is so dumb. Like, I mean, it's retarded dumb. When you come to understand what really happened, you're like, holy shit, these motherfuckers put lipstick on a pig and tried to sell it to us. It's crazy.
Well, I feel like my experience with it is like the rational one, right? Like I just never even literally ever questioned it. And then I questioned everything else. About government, media, whatever, politicians, like the age of the fucking universe and the world and our history and all of it. But I had never questioned that. So when I first encountered it, I was like, that's dumb. But I was also like, why do you think that? Why do people think that? And then by looking at why people think that, I was like, oh, the Holocaust never happened. Like, that's the only conclusion you can come
I will
to.
never forget the moment that it fucking first kind of hit me that there was even the possibility that all of that shit was nonsense. Like I don't remember which video I was watching, and maybe Denier Bud, which was a Ryan Dawson video from like 10 years ago. But I would never forget. I've been watching it, and it was like, as soon as it hit me that holy shit, there were no gas chambers, it was like I had a physical sensation, and like the walls shook, I mean, my whole consciousness literally was like it spasmed for a minute. It was it was almost like when you get hit in the head and you fucking see stars.
Yeah.
It was literally almost a physical sensation like that. I could not fucking believe it. My whole life changed at that moment.
Yeah.
I'll never forget it. My whole life just took a big fucking turn right when I realized I was like this. That was when I made the decision I needed to be a historian. I needed to know what fucking happened. I think that was about 2014 was when I fucking really kind of came to that decision. So yeah, the Holocaust and the realization was so profound to me that it shaped me into what I'm doing today.
What's really cool too is that like that experience will also pave the way for your, not just you, but like anyone's ability to question anything. Because then you just realize like, what else have I never ever questioned and could be that big?
Oh, then the fucking floodgates were open. It was like Stonehenge is fake and a Titanic didn't sink and fucking it was like
fucking exist. Yeah.
Damn, I mean, it was like that.
It was like that.
You just open the doors for everything.
Yep. It's like them glasses and they live.
Yeah.
Man said, and that Lindsey, that was the moment that it hit him that STDs weren't real either.
Yes, that's when he finally saw the light. Oh shit, that shit's fake.
Hey, I still ain't got one. I'll keep trying, but I still ain't got one.
Oh man, that's a that's a bad way to test this one. Hey, I heard that the what was it, the syphilis and the gonorrhea that's on the
Trump's
on the
Mississippi
rise, and the chlamydia.
I think also
Syphilis.
okay, whatever, they're real. I think people get weird genital.
I think you can get some gonorrhea and some weird bacterial
mold,
shit.
Bacteria.
But let's be real, HIV is nonsense. HIV does not cause AIDS, which is weird because HIV in the form of the spike protein is devastating to the body. So I don't understand. I can't make that circle square.
Well, there's something that can disrupt the body greatly, but there's nothing that it can't actually heal from. Many people might die, but some people are going to survive and prove that, like, yeah, there's whatever it is, it's overcomable.
And like half the people who die of AIDS don't even have HIV, which is the statistic that like really fucking iced it for me. I was like, what? Wait a minute. You telling me that motherfucker got AIDS and he never had HIV? Like, fuck off with your nonsense, right? Like, when you come to understand who was behind it all, Anthony Fauci, like this is just propaganda the whole time.
Same exact.
It was COVID all over again.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, we've never had a pandemic. You got to realize we've never had a pandemic. I don't even know if there are pandemics, period. Like Spanish flu was nonsense. Polio is being even more to this day proven to be total bullshit.
Yep.
Totally caused by DDT or something else, some kind of intoxicant.
Yep.
And then AIDS and COVID, all fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
However, I still got to say, my devastating fucking reaction to COVID for 6 months in the beginning could have been, that could have actually been a real pandemic. But the problem is the viruses burn out too quickly. They die really quick. Like they mutate and they change so quickly that you're not going to have that same effect for too long. So I think the original COVID was a serious bioweapon. And when you read the testimonies of people who got COVID in the first couple months in late 2019 or early 2020, they got fucking wrecked. They got fucking wrecked and they almost died and shit. And like they had heart shit just like I had. So I think COVID was a real bioweapon that they released and it burned itself out. I think by summer 2020, it was pretty much toast, you know?
And it was shit.
That's when they did the switcheroo with the flu. They did a swaparoo with the flu.
Yeah.
By summer of 2020. Shit, I got to dig up my notes. I got all that stuff charted out.
Yeah. I had it late 2019, November of 2019. It was actually Thanksgiving Day that I started feeling sick, and I was fucked. I had heart shit. The weirdest thing for me is I had nerve shit, and I still have nerve shit. Like I have just some sort of just ongoing, hopefully not degenerative nerve condition.
So
seemingly since then, so like it could have been something else around that time that happened. I don't know. I have a lot of weird shit, but like that is the weird one for me.
It's been enough years to where like I have to try to remember some of the things that I experienced with COVID, but I'll never forget like once I realized what was going on with me and that these fucking rashes on my feet were not rashes, but they were blood vessels bursting because of lack of oxygen. And I had COVID toes that to this very day, nobody can fucking explain. Nobody, no doctor. I've seen a dozen articles written on COVID toes. Nobody has any fucking idea what caused it.
Well, don't.
And I had it for 6 months.
Don't rule out some form of radiation.
I won't rule it out, but I don't know where that could have possibly come from and how those same symptoms could have been popping up in different places. I mean, like, you're not going to have a mass radiation event. So I just don't know where that could have come from.
The sun.
I don't think, You would have to make another medium for it to interact with plus you, right? You plus this thing plus the sun, because the sun's here all the time and it doesn't do that to us. So
Yes, it
nah,
does. There's actually historical data that
not
is
what I
very
got. What I got
likely.
was most certainly not from the fucking sun,
You don't
guaranteed.
know that.
Yes, I
You
do
don't
know
know
that,
that.
100%.
Keep it.
No,
Keep
I
it
lived
open.
through this.
Keep it open.
This was all cardio related, and the sun is not going to cause me to have cardio related symptoms.
Yes, it
So,
is.
Lindsay, you're
It's a
being
po-
ridiculous.
it's a
Lindsay.
No, you
it's a
are.
possibility, Corey. Just can we
possibility.
put this as a possibility?
Just put a question mark on it.
So the sun doesn't do that to anybody, and then all of a sudden COVID comes, and then the sun
It
does this
does
to
it
people,
all
and
the
then
time. It's
it's
just there's historical precedence. It's well documented. Go read Invisible Rainbow. This is science. Check
so
it
the
out.
sun caused radiation poisoning.
Go read the book. Yes.
It's ridiculous. That's
It's not
ridiculous.
ridiculous at all. It's very, very grounded in actual science. Actual scientists actually study it. It is a study.
All right, explain it to me real quick if it's that solid.
Which part would you like to understand?
The whole thing. I want to explain how the fucking sun caused me to have a heart condition.
Let's talk about the fact that the sun right now actually is spitting out massive amounts of energy at the earth, and that
Sure.
is actually affecting people, and that's
Sure.
documentable.
Yeah,
Well,
we've
how-
had the
how
sun
could it-
forever. It
So how
grows
could it
plants and all
not
kinds of stuff.
affect you, and how could it not cause heart problems? It would be a better question than how is it causing it.
I don't understand. You have completely lost me on this one. So
Go read the book. I'm not the scientist to teach it to you. The scientist can teach it to you.
Hey, I mean, I don't know shit. You know what I'm saying? So,
Well, I didn't
only-
either. That's
only-
why I read the book and was like, oh, that's
I'll-
actually a very
pretend to know.
logical plausibility.
here's what I know. I know that every day I wake up, it's bad for my health. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm getting one day older, so it's bad for your health. Somebody asked me what's bad for your health. Living's bad
That's
for your
true.
health. Okay, I mean it just really is. All right,
It's
so
that goddamn
uh,
entropy.
yeah, you become weather beaten. All right, the
breaks
sun
down.
whoops your ass. Like everything whoops your ass.
oh,
You know
they're
what I'm
looking
saying?
at. They're saying like it's looking like Trump is looking at a 52% to 48 in the overall popular vote, which is pretty good. I don't think they were anticipating him to win the popular vote. I think they were expecting her to win the popular vote.
Well, the last Republican that won the popular vote was that won the presidency was Bush in 2004.
So that's a weird election because there's a lot of talk that Kerry actually won that election and that it was stolen, and then Kerry didn't contest it, and everyone was like, "Oh, he's skull and bones," and then it was like the "Don't Tase Me, Bro" guy fucking did his thing back then.
Wasn't that
John
2000?
Kerry, you talking
and that
about
was the
climate
one where they
change, John
actually-
Kerry?
No, it was 2004 because it was against Kerry. Because in 2001 he was
Oh.
against who the fuck was it?
Gore.
Gore, yeah.
2000 is Gore.
So was it Gore or Kerry then that didn't somebody contest something and that's how we actually got
That
it?
was the
Like,
Florida. That
So
was
what
Gore,
really
the
happened
Florida
was
deal.
the Dominion machines were shown to be unreliable and hackable and whatever way back then.
no, in 2000 it was all hand. It was all hand. They didn't have Dominion back then in
But it was
2000.
2004, right?
Possibly that might have been one of the first ones, but I remember that there was Gore. It took like a month, and then ultimately Roger Stone played a big part in it and shutting down the count, because ultimately I think at the end of the day when they actually did the hand count and everything was all said and done, I think that Gore won, but they did a good job of stealing it at the last minute, because we don't have fair elections in this country ever. It's just a battle of who can steal it better than the other person.
Or who's got the most wealthy contenders on their side.
Yeah,
Yeah, that is true.
because I think the tricking people with charismatic leaders. Once people saw through Obama and they realized what was up with Obama and how he's really just an establishment shill, probably not even an American, and definitely a CIA product. So-
Who's realized this? I think all people who love Obama are like cultists, man. You can say anything bad about them and they go insane. He was gone.
Well, I actually remember when Obama got into office because I was walking into the Harris Teeter and a black woman stopped me and she said, "We got him in there. Those white folks didn't want him in there, but we did it." I was like,
The white folks put him there.
"What are you talk?" I said, "What are you talking about?" I was like, I was taken aback because I was
Yeah.
like, "Am I supposed to know what she's talking about?" Obama. I was like, "Oh, I don't give a fuck about that shit." I mean, I was trying to go in there and get a keg at the moment. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about. We about to have a party. We getting a keg, and it won't no election party neither. You know what I'm saying? It was something else. So I was like, okay.
Yeah, it's looking like
then-
Trump's going to take North Carolina, and it's looking like Kamala's going to probably take Michigan.
Well,
Hey,
what
so
the
she gets Michigan, she better not take Pennsylvania. It's all about Pennsylvania. I'm telling you.
What
She can scoop it out.
what white women need you to know, X Cubed, is that now you're finally validated as a human because someone of a similar skin color to you held that office. So they need you to feel that way and to acknowledge that about yourself.
I so hate
them to
fucking
feel
identity
that about
politics.
themselves.
They make me nauseous.
Okay.
Oh,
That's
it looks
right.
like
I,
You just
Trump's
have to
losing in
learn.
Virginia.
Don't worry, they'll teach you.
oh, they'll teach me.
Yeah.
Okay, I
Because you
appreciate
need them to.
them.
Because you can't think for yourself. That's not realistic.
All right. Well, it's 9 o'clock. Are we wrapping this up or are we sticking around?
What's happening? Who's winning?
Not us.
Israel's
winning.
We are never winning, right? But
Damn said Israel's winning.
who
Who's
are they
winning?
choosing
It's
so far?
Israel.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we don't know who's going to win this thing. We're hoping it's Trump, but we don't
Trump's
know.
going to.
Let's
know.
do the positive
Uh,
energy thing.
well-
Trump's going to win.
Pennsylvania's got 70.44%. Trump's at 51.12% in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, he won.
He's at 52. He's at 52 in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, 51.12%.
And how much of the vote is in?
70%.
Oh my God! If he wins Pennsylvania, it's done.
So
Unless they pull some rabbit out of their hat big time.
so
Because it
let's
looks
just
like he's
be
not going to win
honest.
Virginia.
Let's just be honest. Let's just go with the reality. He's going to win, and let's just like make a serious guess here. How many Democrats will burn themselves alive tomorrow? I'm going to say 4.
At
going
least
4.
4. You said
What do you guys
4?
got?
I'll take 1.5.
Yeah, sounds good.
1, and then a person who will try but fail.
And how the fuck Rachel Maddow still got a show? I've been hearing she's been retired for like 5 years. For like 5 years, she's been like, I'm going to retire, but she's always on the fucking TV. How's that work?
We're like, please, just
No,
do
Rachel
it. Just-
Maddow. Yeah, no, she has a show.
But she keeps retiring. How the fuck you keep retiring and still never go anywhere?
I ain't never heard she retired.
I'm
she
I'm
retired?
sorry. My version of the Matrix is glitching.
Okay,
Yeah,
Cory,
yeah,
how
I
many
ain't never
people are
heard
burning
that.
tomorrow?
I don't know, man. I'm gonna burn myself if this thing doesn't go the way I hope.
1 if it goes.
No,
the
people
other
don't
way.
understand. If Kamala's in, we're fucked as a country. People just don't get this. If Kamala's in, we are fucked. Like no, we've never been fucked before because they will over the next 4 years solidify their election rigging processes.
And
That's
and
it.
A lot more.
Yeah, and a lot more. And so, our
So
best
they
hope
gonna
is that
solidify
Trump
it.
gets in there,
Also
and
be
4 years
okay.
from now we get Vance for 8 years. If we can get Trump and Vance for 8 years, we'll be all right. Hopefully.
Well, you couldn't have Trump for 8, right?
No, because you already had him for 4.
Well, everyone out there, just you're good no matter what happens. Don't worry. I mean, like really,
Yeah,
because
you're
in the
big.
end, we're all gonna die. You're gonna die either way. This is like the way there. It'll be all kinds of that shit. Who cares?
Your death is imminent regardless. So I mean,
Yeah.
let's
The
let's
one thing you know for sure, you don't know who's going to be president. You don't know what they're going to do. You don't know what the globalists are going to put. You know nothing except that you will die. That's the only thing that is guaranteed. And so knowing that's true, there's not a lot in between here and there that matters except like that you make yourself as happy as you can be in the meantime. So who gives a shit? That's my message.
right. This is
Shelly.
true. Well, the Republicans have flipped 2 seats in the Senate.
That's killer.
And
They got 50. They just need one more.
yeah, and Republicans have flipped 3 seats in the House
No way.
so far. Yep.
Damn, this might actually be a full sweep
I fucking called it
until 3 a.m.
months ago.
Until we get the blue wave at 3 a.m.
It's not gonna happen.
The blue ghost wave at 3 o'clock.
I'm not even being optimistic. I'm just saying, like, I genuinely think that's what the
I
controllers
God,
of the
I hope so.
controllers want.
I'm just so black pilled, like I never get what I want. So
I
I'm
know.
just not that I want Trump, but he's like he's the stopgap between us and fucking eternal damnation.
Yeah.
Okay. Damn, Bo. I mean, man said straight to hell with you. Okay. As far as
Oh, Trump's up in
governor's
Wisconsin
races-
again.
Okay. As far as governors races, there's only two governors who have two Democratic governors who have won their states: Delaware and, of course, North Carolina.
Oh, look, we're in Delaware.
All right,
Yeah,
but
but
I
the
gotta
rest of the
go,
ones:
so
Indiana,
I'm gonna dip out.
Missouri,
All right.
Montana. Okay, that's fine. All
I'll
right,
see
I
you
just got a
guys.
couple more things.
Bye, bye.
All right, let on. Yeah, Indiana, Missouri, Montana, North Dakota, New Hampshire, Utah, Vermont, and West Virginia. All of them elected Republican governors, and then Washington State's probably going to be Democratic.
Again.
More than likely. More than likely.
Or is it
So
still Jay Inslee? Is he still the dude
is it
there
what for
for Washington?
no, I think he's got to be out. So it's either Ferguson or Reichard.
Oh, I don't even know these people anymore. I've been gone long enough. I don't even know.
Yeah. So
Riker.
that's the two that's running there. And so currently, right now, as far as the counts go, electoral Trump 2016, Kamala 193.
And isn't it
That is
220 to
the
take it or something?
it's 270.
Oh, I was way off.
Yeah, 270. But as of right now, Trump is leading the popular vote by 6 million.
It's a
By
popular
6 million
guy.
votes. Yeah.
So this is
So
the other thing. It's probably highly unlikely. I don't think it's ever happened, but technically the electors can elect whoever they want no matter which way the popular vote goes.
this is true. Now they're supposed to go the way of their people, but technically
There's
they could be
no
like,
there's no law.
you know what? Yeah, there's no law against it. They could be like, you know what? Y'all are dumbasses.
Yeah. Or they could be like, you know what? It's not really fair that Chicago determines the whole state's fucking shit. So maybe we don't do that this time.
Yeah, and a lot of times, if you think about it, in these particular bigger cities, you probably have more people who are on government benefits in the bigger
Yeah.
cities. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
like
so
that's
I
like
think
the
that
whole
does.
of it. Why
Yeah,
they're yeah.
yeah, and
I
so they
mean, they'll say
probably
that. They're like, Republicans don't want all this social da da da. And I'm like, yeah. I mean, like, no,
yeah
yeah.
earn your keep, work, things of that nature. I know that's a hard concept. I know it's difficult. All right, and we're in the age now where folks are just quit. But like people just quit the job, ain't got nothing lined up. I'm like, okay. She's like, yeah. Folks like, yeah, I quit. I was like, okay, damn, you got another job lined up? They're like, no. I was like, oh, you must have plenty of savings. No, no savings. I'm like, was that not a bad idea? What are you gonna do? I mean,
Yeah.
I was like, it's not a smart idea. Usually, when you quit something, you want to have something in line, or you have so much money in reserve that you're able to buy yourself time to figure out what your next move is.
Dude, people like don't they're like, you're heartless. I'm like, no, I don't think it's good for them either to be supported for doing nothing. I don't think it's good for their soul, for their like sense of
Right.
self, for like our social fabric. I mean, like it's not good for anything or anyone. I do think people should be supported when they're genuinely on hard times. And I think that's what churches and like community groups are for, not the government. Like
Hmm.
and I don't think you should rely on these things. And I think it enables people to make really poor choices and not care about themselves. And I was just talking today about like the homeless shit. Like people don't understand. Like I used to spend a lot of time on the streets organizing for political protests and all sorts of stuff. And so I was talking to a lot of people, many of them homeless. And the vast majority of homeless people I've actually talked to, human to human, very honest about the fact that they chose to live on the streets because they knew they could and they just wanted to. It's easier. They don't have to work. They get free money from people. People give them food. Like, yeah, they might be cold sometimes, but they
Yeah.
always have somewhere to stay. Now it's even easier. So, like, you're enabling people to choose to be in this lifestyle. There's a very small, actually, overall population of homeless people who did not choose that. And
Right.
unless you're the person who says anyone with any level of what I call mental illness or addiction didn't choose it, right? Then yeah, I guess maybe they none of them did, but like the vast majority of people are doing that because it's the easiest way to be a druggie and not have any responsibilities.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
motherfuckers
And if
hate when I say that shit, but that is true.
Yeah, and if the government's gonna pay for you a lot, then folks will take the easiest route. I don't know why, but they will. They,
Well,
just
it's the same
it's
when we talk
something that
about
happens.
destroying the black community. They were like, here's a bunch of welfare handouts. Here's a impetus for you to not have a stable job, family, or home. Like all of this, right? That's part of it too. Like you look at what these programs actually do to people. Like again, not good for anybody. Actually,
No, 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 it's absolutely terrible. But for the majority of people, you need to be doing something. That's just, something. Just anything to contribute to society.
yeah,
And like you said, you probably feel better doing it,
yeah,
knowing that you have some sense of purpose.
dude.
But
That's
I don't know. There's a lot of people that I guess they don't care about the sense of purpose.
they don't think they do, but they like even those people when you actually give them the ability to have that sense of purpose or create it or develop it, they're like, man, I really like this. Like, right? You put them in those like go survive in the desert situations or like, you know, other sorts of things like that. People like it. They want to feel needed and important. Actually, they don't know that ahead of time always because it seems easier to just sort of like, you know, do drugs, play video games, whatever. But it's not.
It
I mean,
is.
like, you know, I think about this with yard work, right? I'm like, I don't actually want to go out there and like rip up the bed and like plant all this shit and drag everything around and get like dirty and sweaty. I don't want to, and I resist it and I resist it. And then I finally am like, oh, whatever, I have to get it done. I go do it. And afterwards, I'm like, that was awesome. Like, I feel great. Like, and all that shit's
Hmm.
done now and it looks good and like everything's cool. Why did I fucking resist that so hard? It's not that bad. And actually, it feels really good. I think people are just like that. Even with learning, you're like, I don't want to learn this, and then after they learn it, they're like, oh, that's really cool, I'm glad I know that now. We just for some
Right.
reason we're hella lazy.
Well, I think the struggle in the beginning is the issue. So
Yeah,
we don't want to have to struggle to learn anything because everything's a struggle at the beginning, and the
it's true.
struggle is the hardest thing to get past. It's the same way I tell people going to the gym. Folks
Yeah,
ask me about going to the gym. I said the hardest thing about going to the gym is going.
it's true.
That's it.
Yep.
That is the hardest thing. But
Uh-huh.
once it becomes a routine, now it's like, man, I didn't go to the gym.
Yeah,
Like you feel weird because
yeah,
you didn't go.
you're addicted.
Yeah, yeah. And so
Good addiction.
um that particular discipline to just get started is the hardest thing of
Yeah,
anything. Yeah, of anything, period.
or like just to overcome the initial temptation too, because what are they, you know, that marshmallow, the marshmallow experiment, have you ever seen that? They take little kids,
Uh-uh.
they're like 4, 5, like they're young, and they're like, here's
Mm-hmm.
a marshmallow, I'm gonna leave the room, you stay here, you can eat that, or if you don't, I'm gonna come back, I don't know when, like it could be a couple minutes, could be like 30 minutes, like I'm not sure when, but if I come back and you haven't, I'll give you another one. And then they leave, and the kids just like, and you watch them on the video, they're like squirming and they're like touching it and licking their finger, and they're just like trying, and some kids just are like whatever, and they just eat the marshmallow. And they follow these kids over the years, and it's like almost 100% kids who ate the marshmallow like don't do well at life, and the kids who waited do well at life. It has nothing to do with like IQ or like
Oh
parentage or
wow.
like how you were. It's the ability to like have that discipline, to know that like the payoff is worth it, and to choose that even though it's not what you want. Like you don't want to go to the gym and you don't want to go do the work and you want the marshmallow, you don't want to wait, but like if you can do it, you can have this payoff, and that's the determiner of success. It just comes down to this marshmallow. So wild.
That's crazy
Yeah.
actually. Well it's simple things like that will actually distinguish what type of personality you have,
Yep.
which you wouldn't think would be the case. We always think big, swing big, but there's just little minute things that people test you with, and how you respond to that will actually determine what type of personality you have.
Absolutely. It's like the subtlest things actually that like change everything. Who's that
Yep.
crazy guy? Goggins, I think is his name. Goggins. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, that name sounds familiar.
he's like
You said
like I don't
Goggins.
know if he's military or like if he's MMA or what, but he's like big in like sort of the self-improvement scene, and
Oh,
he's
David
like
Goggins.
built. I think so, yeah. And he
Oh,
talks
let me
about
make
that.
sure this is the guy.
He's like, what? People tell me like, oh, I don't want to. Yeah, that guy. He's
It's
like,
him.
people
Okay.
tell me like, I don't want to go to the gym. I don't want to do this. He's like, I didn't want to do anything. I never want to. I don't want to get up. I don't want to jog. I don't want to do this. I just do it anyway. And like, cause people are like, how is your life like this? How are you so like perfectly healthy and perfectly like intelligent and just like on top of things all the time? And he's like, I don't want to do any of it. I just do it anyway. And I'm like, that actually is like the best advice ever. It's
That's
just
the
like
hardest
nobody
thing to
wants
do.
to. Just do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the hardest thing when knowing that you don't want to do anything, but you get up and you do it anyway. And that's what distinguishes you from other people.
Yeah. Dude,
That's it.
Goggins for
That's it.
president.
Just doing the thing. The guy Goggins for president. Okay, so
He
it
might be
doesn't
a
look like we're
psychopath.
gonna have any movement tonight from what it seems.
All right.
Um the results are coming in extremely slow. Pennsylvania is at 75% of the vote in.
And they're
Michigan is only 31%.
and where are they leaning
Why
now?
is Pennsylvania still leaning Trump? Michigan is still leaning Trump. Georgia is still leaning Trump with 90% of the vote in.
In Wisconsin?
Uh, and and Wisconsin still leaning Trump with 65% of the vote in. North Carolina still leaning Trump with 89% of the vote in. Man, we've been there for a while. Why are we so slow?
People
North
gotta
Carolina, actually, anybody on the East Coast, what's going on?
they're just having a nice sit down.
Like Florida's done.
A
Like
little
Florida's
nice sit
done.
down. A little
They
tea.
had they had over 10 million votes to count, and they've already got through 96%. Already gave it to Trump. So it's just like, what are these other places doing? We need to
Well,
pick up the pace.
sometimes you need a nice sit down. Just a
Yeah,
little relaxing moment.
yeah. I guess you could say that. We've got Harris right now with looks like she's going to get New Mexico more than likely, 70% of the vote in there. Arizona is still neck and neck. Trump is uh, a mere, not even a percentage point ahead,
Wow.
with 49%. And then Nevada is not reporting anything because they're assholes. And Alaska doesn't close till 1 a.m. So, I mean, I guess Alaska
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Well, so let's just also say, or I will say, I laugh and I poke fun and I talk about people burning themselves, but literally, like the people who are on that side of things are going to need deep and genuine love and compassion tomorrow. So be ready to give it. Just
Yeah.
well, let everything go and just be like, I'm sorry that you feel so devastated. I hope you feel better soon.
Yeah, no doubt about that. No doubt about that. So we're gonna wrap it up for tonight. We appreciate everybody for being here for this election special. A day zero slash beyond the queue. We're all family. It's all the
Yeah,
same thing. It's just the
almost.
same people. And Lindsay, did your event go well tonight?
It
You
did,
didn't you
yes.
didn't get to say yeah.
I do a lightning oracle round. So people get messages from their spiritual guides and allies. I do it every first and third Tuesday, and it was fun. We do it now on Zoom rather than a show, so it gets to be more like we actually get to talk and hang out a little
Oh
bit,
yeah,
and
yeah,
you
yeah.
know if we have
Hmm.
time. So it's pretty cool. So anyone out there who's into that side of the woo, you can come join us first and third Tuesday of every month. It's on rogueways.org. You can click on book or schedule a session and find Lightning Oracle Round that right there. I'm also doing something for 1111 special day in the spiritual world.
Okay.
So also Venus is conjunct the galactic center. So this is a big deal. So if you want to come on Monday night and get some blessing energy, then you can come and join that as well.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's good. That's good. Make sure if y'all interested in that, make sure you go to rogueways.org. Get in, sign up. Does it book up pretty quick?
It does usually. I mean, the people who know, and they tends to come back every time. So
Okay, I got you. I
You
got
know,
you.
it's not everybody's cup of tea to even talk about spiritual stuff at all. So they're definitely
Hmm.
not going to show up for a reading or a blessing. But you know, the people who know, and it does fill up pretty quick. There's an event I do every solstice and equinox, which is why I'm sometimes not at day zero. One of the reasons why I'm sometimes not at day zero, 'cause sometimes it falls on a Sunday. And the people who come to that will often like sign up for the next one like the same day that that one ended. So like it ended and they're already signing up for 3 months from now. So like
Okay,
people,
so it's kind of hard to get into, actually.
not really, no, there's always space,
Oh,
and I
okay.
shouldn't say always, sometimes things fill up, but there's usually space for somebody to get in. It's just, again, it's not everybody's thing. So I
Right,
always feel honored for the people who come. I think it's cool that people show up to that kind of stuff.
right, right. Well, that's good. That's good. Well, yeah, all my stuff's on xq420.com. This will be on podcast platforms. I'll be sending this to you as well, Lindsay. The
Hell
way you can
yeah.
put it on your podcast platforms as well.
We'll
We
do it.
appreciate her for lending her channels tonight. Had some good turnout on Rogueways, on Rockfin, and also on Rumble. If you're not following her there, make sure you follow her there. Okay, for all the good
And
stuff.
vice versa.
She does
If you're
the
not following X Cubed over on
yeah,
Rumble, go do it.
yeah. Every once in a while, look, I talk a lot of shenanigans. Okay, I always say that the people I'm with, they're way smarter than me in the conspiratorial world. I just looked at it one day and I was like, man, this shit's stupid. You know what I'm saying? It took 2020 and I was just like, man, this shit's dumb. I mean, it's like, is this real? Like, I didn't think it was real. So I never really got into the whole conspiracy. I never really gave a shit about anything. I just
Don't underestimate just
2020.
being a rational, intelligent person. That in itself
Yeah.
is more than enough.
Yeah. So that can make a big difference. Make sure you're with us on Sundays, day zero, 5 p.m. Eastern. We'll be back. Hopefully we'll have Charlie back with us this week. We're not sure. It may be a few weeks. So um, prayers out for Charlie. So yeah. Until then, we'll catch y'all. We'll catch y'all Thursday, which is when I'll be doing my Showtime with the Cube, which is usually the night where we'll be covering the Penguin. And I know Lindsay also has her winning report usually
Yeah, so tomorrow we'll
during the
talk
week as
about
well. Hmm.
how hard we're winning, no matter who wins this or is
Right.
selected, I should say, for this election.
Right. So make sure you're there supporting Lindsay on that. So from Boy HQ420 for the powerful one, Cory Hughes, who had to dip early, and from Miss Lindsay Scharmyn of Rogue Waves. We'll catch y'all on the next Beyond the Cube, Day Zero, winning report, all that and
Woo!
above.
See you
Peace out.
guys. Woo!
Right. Did it load? Did it load?
Mm.
Yeah.